your mind in what you intend to achieve. Be clear in your mind in what you intend to achieve.
I call radio. Respect the underground radio.
Know what you are going to do. That doesn't seem like too much to ask. Certainly in war. And you wouldn't think it would be too much for people to ask in their lives either. But how often do we see people going through their lives without knowing what they are trying to do, without having any intent, without having a clear mission? I'm talking on an individual level. As a person, people go through their lives without knowing what it is they want to do, what they want to accomplish. So know what your mission is. Know what your intent as the commander of your life. Know what your intent is, and then fight with everything you've got to win.
Don't let nobody turn you around. That's real.
That's real.
That's why most people don't act on their dreams and ideas.
Tell them, Jocko.
That's why most people, when I'm talking with kids that are in institutions, and I said, what happened? Why did you give up working hard and making good grades? Well, they started teasing me. And they allowed that peer pressure to cause them to scale down their dreams and their ambitions.
They shut their shit
down.
They
started following the crowd.
That's right.
That's why many people don't do the things they want to do, because he doesn't have the guts or the boldness to stand up in life and say, I'm going to live my dream. I'm going to commit myself to live out what's in me. I heard Dr. Johnny Youngblood say,
what did Johnny Youngblood say, Jocko?
I said, why do you do this?
Why do you do it?
Got to do it.
Got to.
I got to do it.
Got to do it.
I'm saying, find something in your life that you say, hey, it might not work out.
It might not.
Got to do this.
But I've got to do it.
Hey, it's the one thing I love.
That's right.
It's my piece.
That's right.
It's my thing.
It's my thing.
You don't need anybody to approve you. You don't need anybody to say, go ahead on and do it. If you get that, that's fantastic. If you get that encouragement, that's great.
That's great.
I say, stand up within yourself boldly and say, this is my life.
Respect the underground radio.
We got the one and only Joseph Bills maxing out tonight on the mission. Special Sunday mission. Let's go.
I'm getting this money. All I'm seeing is dollar signs. Yeah, I'm getting this paper, and I'm getting it all the time. Yeah, I'm getting
you know we can do the mission full interview and get all the way from music to sports to everything. Let's go.
Make a bunch of that dough.
The mission.
Break a bunch of them hoes. Was I giving a fuck? No. Why is that J.O.? I'm in that get it how I like it most. Listen to them rhymes I flow. You feel them like a line of coke. Bills is like a gyroscope. Spinning out my mind and soul. Call myself the X's for a given length of time until Joseph Bills to precedent. See, Skrill is more than relevant. It's necessary. And yes, I did make up a word to express the shit. My regiment get handkerchiefs, outrageous paper, impressive grips. All Benjamins, that's ballin'. When it don't matter how much you toss it. When it's 4:05 in the morning, can't sleep, so get right to the rolling. Like in a blow, fly to the highest approaches. Write me a song that's like an explosion. And I mean, say boom, my boom, you boom, I do. Like that fuse and I lose my you. Like my tunes, I do. Tune your mind to get back at you. And
this was dollar signs.
That's a low blow.
AZ, tap in. Let's go.
Magic Traxons have an old funk, like a plaques, but the sound was so. Switch the sound up, underbound, trying to get my pounds up. Bumping sounds, make them jump around. You chumps and clowns, nowhere around us. I'm gonna be dumping rounds to the bobo sound like.
We have you surrounded.
Hate me so you get demolished, or you'll be like slavery, aka abolished.
Hey, we taking calls tonight. 804-305-6570. You want to call up, tap in personally with Joe Bills. He's talking LeBron all night for you haters out there, you Jordan fans, you haters. Let's go.
It's ballsy, it's game time, and I'm all in. I'm King James and my Kobe Bryant, or as y'all call it, ballin'.
Hey.
I'm getting this money. All I'm seeing is dollar signs. Yeah, I'm getting this paper, and I'm getting it all the time. Yeah, I'm getting this money. All I'm seeing is dollar signs. real, getting paper like the mail, make it rain in the club. Call that show and tell. Maybe if you show your tail, I'll show you why they call me Bills, 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 Bills.
Joseph Bills on tonight's mission. One or two more songs and he's coming in live in studio on the mission. www.respecttheunderground.com. Tune in, tap in, share that for me. Let's go. We're gonna get into some music tonight with the one and only Joe Bills. Let's go.
The man in that stack, check the plan of attack. Kill wax, eat lame. This is cannibal rap. Stampede on the beat and go damn on the track. Dumb as a mole. Lean and drink handles and yak. You couldn't handle 14. Peeping stacks in the batch. Blowing most on XO and the last on some ass. Bill seen G's Conan for the cash. Please believe I will last till the last. I made the blaze a drum and the bass. Spit shit to have you throw your head back like a punch in the face. You a fucking disgrace. Kinda like the pattern mat, but this is grind time, and I don't mean the battle rap. Push it to the limit and get it until your sandals crack. Money on your mind in due time, your cash will stack. Yeah, and that's the mind I'm in. If there's gold in the deep end, I'ma dive right in. See, I'm smoother than shark skin. Bite off the shark.
We're tuned in, we're tapped in. Number one set and sound. Respect the underground. Icon Radio.
I'm about to bowl around, I get to knocking y'all down. Keep a fit the Henny, that's my alcohol style. And these hoes blow my whistle like a basketball.
Thank you everybody tapping in. East Coast, West Coast, AZ to VA to Northern Cali. Let's go.
You bitches can bounce. Fuck you. And if you bring your folks, fuck more of you. Hate to have the foes throw blows and Chuck Norris you. The shit in my hands, no kick in the pants. Matter of fact, it's more like the kickstand in the glass.
All right, one more. Let's get him in the room. We got to get this thing going. The mission. www.respecttheunderground.com. You know what it is. Mr. Play Me Some AZ. Follow the sign that shine. The black is white as black as old as young as oldest. DJ in the world.
Shooting craps on one knee, smelt the death in the breeze.
Keep a bag of trees, a dirty tack in my jeans. Hit the tent, pick up the ends, grab the swisher and breathe.
Could feel the ghost approach when I was counting the green.
Felt a nice cold vibe with every single stride. Shit started falling apart, so I
It's okay.
Working the slide, they ain't searching inside.
Plus the piffin got the kid in no position to drive. Feel like deja vu, like something I've been through.
Thought I had a full clip, shit, but only counted 2.
I had to straight flip script and call up my dude. He said I only got 2, cause I did what I do.
He said you know you black out when you pull out the boom.
Like a shroom, my mind's racing, time facing, crime chasing, trying to get it like the Masons.
Trying to figure out who put that body on the pavement.
I stay bent, but I'm still thinking clear though. Come to think when I hit, my hip was feeling weird, bro.
Must've mistrusted with these busters in my ear hole.
Shit's a trip. This
Be right back.
Switch clips.
Joe Bills.
The apparition descended for this bitch.
Thought it was a ghost, but just a hoax from the get.
Unknown to my folks, this nigga just betrayed the clique. Focused on the post and no portraying what he did.
Cause the dude on the jack is exactly who it is.
He must've busted off when I was picking up my chips. Breathe was just a steez from a nigga that'll switch.
Now I'm keen to the motive, why I think to involve me.
Probably thought I fucked this bitch, but she fucked the whole on me. He had to grab my strap, act like he ain't saw me.
I'ma have to dap his cap, turn his ass into dog meat.
Speaking of dog meat, I see you getting takeout. On a stakeout while you and your bitch make out.
2 bullets when I pull it, blow both they fucking brains
now
out.
buddy, that money killed was Sonny from the trap house. Now we got bloody work and Sonny in the trash pile.
But buddy try to set me up, so buddy in the ground now.
That's why I'm more
always key in the clutch. Joe Bills, ladies and
Snakes
gentlemen.
in the grass get no pass when they foul
Shooting
out.
craps on one knee, smelt the death in the breeze.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I call him the hardest working man in AZ hip hop. He may be the hardest working man on the West Coast. Mr. Got Bills, Mr. Max Out. Say it twice if you know it's nice. The one and only. Let me turn this mic on. The legendary, a legend in his own time. He's just getting started.
Amen.
Joseph Bills tonight, y'all.
Max
Let me get it to you one more
Max
time.
out. I appreciate you, bro. What an intro, man.
Hey, well, you know, I would dream up more if I could, but
Bro, I love
you know,
it.
my dyslexic, medicated mind is getting old.
I feel that.
As I continue. Now, before we go started, as you see, I am Walter Cronwright. I am Dan Rather Smoke Weed. I have notes. I prepare.
Hey, not only that, I want to give you some flowers real quick. I'm in the lobby listening to you play music, bro, and I'm like, yo, I text my wife. I'm like, yo, he did his homework, bro. He playing them things. He played dollar bill. I was like, yo, he did his homework.
Yeah,
He
well, I
playing
listen
some old cuts.
The week before every artist comes in, I try to immerse myself in their music. I go to SoundCloud, I go to YouTube, I go to iTunes, I go to Spotify. I go to the places where they are either at or may have been, you know, because we'll get into it. Artists is a lot of different places
Right.
where music goes over the last 10 years.
Exactly.
If you've been involved in music, you know, it's been a big transition. And but I like going back to, a lot of times on SoundCloud, you can find
Right, you find some gems.
people's older music. And I like to hear the evolution, or I like to hear, you know, and we'll get into all that.
Definitely.
Before we get started, over here in the cooler, it's a tradition. And while you're deciding, I'll put on some instrumental music for us to bang in the background. I have some beverages. I have, they're all sealed and ice cold. I have a water. I have a cold beer. I have a soda. I have a White Claw, and I have a Four Loko.
Oh.
Which one would you like to start with? Now, you're welcome to any during the show, but just which one would you like to start with?
I would like to start with that good old White Claw.
You know, something told me that you might, of everybody so far, you might take the White Claw.
I'm going to drink it.
Something
I'm going to have
told me
no
about
shame in my game about it.
Hey.
I'm going to finish the whole thing, too.
Yo Westwood didn't even know what a White Claw was, but he did mention that him and his compadres have drank Zima in their time.
Okay.
So it's very similar. It's not that
Exactly.
much difference. You know?
Truly a White Claw.
True-
Whatever it is.
right.
Got liquor in it? Cool. I'm
Right.
drinking
In my neighborhood, with my wife and her friends, Truly and White Claw rule supreme.
Brother,
You know?
you're preaching to the choir.
Rule supreme. All right, while you crack that, I got some questions for you. I'll get some music on. And you know, you can just back out any of these if you need to. Blunt paper or a good book? Do you medicate? Do you use cannabis pills?
Very incrementally. It's a from time to time thing for me these days.
Sure. Which is rare for a rapper. Most rappers are like, yeah, son, not now.
No,
Where's it at?
yeah.
You know.
So there's been a time, and I don't know any weed smoker who hasn't like quit at one point or another, whether it
Some
be
of
a
us
day,
made to,
whether
or
it be
just-
a day or a
it's
year,
good.
or you're on probation, whatever.
It's good for the spirit, though.
Right, yeah, it's real cleansing. So last time I quit was for like 8 solid months, and so now when I come back and I smoke one, it's like it don't hit me the same way. Like I get super in my head about like so unless I'm only with the homies or I'm at my house, I have nothing to do.
Right.
I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll pass. Some cats actually, it's kind of funny. Some cats these days will be like, "Yo, I got to smoke with Bills," and they'll be like, "What?" Like, yeah, man, I smoked with him. Like,
So it's kind of a rare thing
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah,
I
it's a
can
rare thing.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you blunt or paper then when you are indulging.
When I am indulging, I gotta go blunt.
Okay. Cool. Blunt. Beer, liquor, or water usually.
Liquor, then water. I chase with water.
Yeah, I'm a liquor and water guy. If you're an experienced drinker, you know you gotta hydrate.
Exactly, and why not just chase with the hydration?
Okay. Sativa indica hybrid, or I don't care. Sativa every time.
Yeah, but I gotta
when
go
you
up.
maxed out and keep that energy
Gotta
right.
go
Indica
up,
just
bro.
doesn't go with.
It puts me in
Joe
the couch.
Bills.
Remember that old commercial where the girl was off
You
flat?
melt, yeah. It does that
that's
for a lot
me.
of people.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
me.
you. Okay. Beef, pork, or fish taco?
If you say fish, can we count shrimp in that equation?
Sure. We can count shrimp.
I'm still gonna go beef, but shrimp's a close second.
You threw me a curveball.
Yeah.
Okay, last question of this nature for right now. Explain Republican rappers to me. Explain how did we get to a place where we have Republican rappers?
I think the only way to explain it is that hip hop is an expression of self.
Sure.
So if that's what you believe in and you happen to rhyme well over a beat, I guess, to each his own. To each his own.
I'm an older man. When I was, when I was a huge fan, I've always been a fan of hip hop, but when I was more active in DJing and when I was more active being an artist, things of that nature, there was a day when I couldn't have dreamed of ever having Republican rappers.
Of course not.
Hip hop was very much anti
establishment.
Power structure,
Yes.
establishment, Democrat or Republican.
True.
They both crushed up the CDs,
Yeah.
and tried to do away with rap to a certain extent. So, yeah. So to me, it's odd to have Republican rappers.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say it's not odd for sure. It's something that you wouldn't expect to see or even maybe want to see. But, for their fan base, for those other Republicans out there that happen to like hip hop, more power to you. If you
Apparently, there's a southern movement of white boys rapping that very much like California artists, they don't have to sell outside of their region. I don't think. I don't know.
So they're like, you know what? Make your money where you make it at. I'm not going to hate on you.
Right.
I probably won't ever listen to it. But,
Probably disagree with you in principle.
More than likely in principle alone.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I got you. Okay, well that's good enough. Someone on the show actually blamed Nas and Jay-Z.
Really?
They had a song called Black Republicans.
Oh, yeah, but that's a reach though. You can't blame them for making that song. That's a reach. That's a reach. But
Well, no, they more expressed the fact that black people have more money now than maybe they've had
True.
in America in a while.
And I'll tell you what, as a black person with money, or even a white person with money, you usually want to vote Republican because they probably gonna let you keep more of that money.
That's what everybody
don't let
says.
you keep
That's
more
the
of that.
general thought. Whether it happens, I mean, I guess it happens that way. I'm trying to
Bro,
get to have those
red.
problems.
My mama votes red. My mama's a doctor, so I think there's reasons for that.
Right, financial.
You know?
From what I hear, it's usually financial.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your candor.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate
Hey, bro, Joseph Bills can't never front, man. I got to
Okay.
keep it trill, man. I got to
Okay.
do. There's many songs where I mention it. I can't come on a radio show and just start capping now.
No, it's fine. No, it's great. I appreciate that. What who played you hip hop first?
That'd be my older brother.
I love older brothers
Yeah.
and uncles.
Yeah,
That's
my
usually
older
what
brother.
it is, right?
He got into, because we were raised very conservatively, grew up in a really nice, privileged lifestyle. So it's like that wasn't exactly exposed to me out in where my streets area would be. So yeah, he got into that more, and then I would hear playing in his room. Oh, what's this? Oh, who's that? He had the big old CD books. Remember when we used to collect CDs?
Oh,
you know
sure.
what I'm saying?
I remember.
So yeah, we had all the Cash Money CDs. And,
Okay.
Yeah, man, No Limit. So yeah, shout out John for that. Shout out John.
Big bro.
Yeah.
What was your first recording experience? And what kind of equipment, what kind of situation was it?
So I guess that's two-part answer. My first recording experience total would be on a USB mic in my room on my computer.
Okay.
Recording vocals. They used to have this battle website called Lyric Wars.
Okay, I
where you
remember
Yeah?
that.
Okay. So you could go on there, you could upload your 18s, your 16s, whatever.
Okay.
And people would vote on the site or whatever. So I made 2 different accounts on that site, and I was ranked number 1 and 2. And the admin
Incredible.
I know, right? The admin emailed me. He's like, look, fam, I can see your IP address. I know you're both of these people. Which one do you want to keep? Normally I should kick you off, but this is kind of dope. So that was my first recording experience with myself, but my first actual studio recording experience was with my homeboy Doc Strange.
Okay.
And I didn't have any connections or nothing like that. I don't even remember where I met Doc at. Oh, through one of my other homies. Anyway, he said had a home studio, right? So I'm like, yo, I got mad songs. I just want to record. He brought everything to my crib, the piano, the mic, everything.
Wow.
I was tripping. Right in the living room, he made the beat. We made it from scratch. I just happened to have some bars that went with it. Recorded the whole joint, and it's actually on my first album, which I have 1 copy of left, which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, the internet don't like me. It never has. This is not online anywhere, and it's like 20 of my favorite songs. You talking about evolution, bruh? I might actually need to send you something just so you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
As
I'd love to check it out.
As an actual listener, seeing as
Sure.
that you dug through my crates,
Sure,
you
yeah.
should see the first ones.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Well, a lot of times I think maybe it's like when you're laying a verse down, you may get it technically better the more times you record it, but sometimes the energy of the first
the
take
initial passion
is good and
Yes.
raw, and it's something that you a lot of times can't recapture. So I think
Right.
that might be the same for your first music,
And a lot of
your
times-
first project. You get a rawness
Yeah.
that you kind of move past, but sometimes we, look back fondly at that rawness.
Later in my recording experience, I would do that exactly like you just said, try to recreate something and it don't never come out the same. I stopped actually trying. If I do a scratch track in my crib on my Pro Tools, I no longer will go try to re-record that, because as much as I try, it never comes out the same. I'll just send those raw, waves to the engineer, yo, make the best you can out of this. But yeah, exactly like you said, sometimes that initial capture is what was supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree. What are you from Oklahoma City? Is that correct? Where are you from?
I'm
sorry.
from here, from Phoenix.
You're from Phoenix.
Yep.
Grew up here your
Yep.
whole life.
Grew up here, yep. I grew up in Scottsdale, then
Okay.
got old enough to move around, moved over to Mesa, Sunny Slope, trying to get different tastes of life, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's a whole different subculture in suburb areas. I
Yeah.
feel like that might be true to most suburbs in the nation.
Sure.
But then, as you grow, you find out people are people anywhere you go.
That's true.
You got the real, you got the fake, you got the ones that pretend to be real, really fake. So it's just, it was a nice learning curve to be introduced to different walks of life.
Sure. What do you think's special about Phoenix?
It's such a melting pot. There's so many avenues for people to succeed in. And it's just a lot of times, especially in this hip hop scene, people feel like there's only one way to win. And I'm like, man, you can win over here, you can win over here, you can win over here. And then you three can combine on a track and you could all win in each other's areas. And then you could keep going forward like that. But people like to scratch and claw and fight for the same cookie. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bag of cookies right over there, man. You'll get your own cookie.
Right, I agree. I came from Richmond, Virginia, and I'm new out here, so I try to bring a new perspective when I speak to people. But I notice a lot of Richmond is starting to get over it. There's been a lot of collaborations and a lot of artists supporting artists,
Dope.
and there's a lot of love spread now because it's a small town and
Yeah.
it's not that big. But for years, there's a lot of little cliques that didn't even tried not to be aware of each other, much
Right.
less collaborate. And I see some of the crab in a barrel maybe
Little bit,
mentality
right?
here.
Yeah.
I see that.
It's super pointless.
And it is pointless. And I try to bring that perspective to people, being an older man, and really I try to bring the perspective of how good the talent really is
Mm-hmm.
here, because I think living here and everybody fighting for certain things, it's easy to not want to recognize
Yeah.
how good everybody is.
Yeah.
But there's just an extreme amount of talent.
It's insane how much talent,
this
how many
area.
talented people there are, and especially with different genres of hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some sing rap, some just bar you to death. But there's so many different people that are fit in so many categories that they can win in. You know?
When I was listening to your music, I really feel like you have a sound.
Dope.
I really feel like there's a Joseph Bills
That's very
maxed
dope.
out sound.
Once upon a
And I
time, they'd
re-
say you need one of those. So that's awesome.
I really can't. Well, I think it definitely derives from your character, and your personality comes across a lot through your music, and it's very positive, you know. But I noticed a few songs that when I was listening that maybe had more of a boom bap feel, and I don't really feel like maybe that's your sound.
Right.
But I respected the fact that they were on there because I'm an old head and I
Yeah,
love boom bap
yeah.
rap. There was one, I'm not sure I wrote it down, King
Oh, King Mode.
Mode.
Super boom bap, right?
I love King Mode
Dog.
because it's got an old school breakbeat,
Yes.
you know, and that's, you know, I'm an East Coast guy,
It
so
definitely got slept on because
that
that's,
stuff hits my heart, and
yeah.
maybe that record would be slept on in this area.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, I don't want anybody to get stuck on boom bap. It's not today. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it's not,
It's
yeah.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Except for, you know, there's people in New York bringing it
Yeah,
back for
Griselda.
New York.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. That's
Yep.
great. But it's not natural for someone on the West Coast
Mm-hmm.
really to have that sound. But I just want to let you know I really appreciated that song when I was
Very
going through your
dope, man.
music.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you finding that gem, man.
Yeah. And there was a couple others I may not remember the name. Who was, when you first started paying attention to hip hop in general, who was in charge of the West Coast and on the big side, and maybe on the Arizona or the Phoenix side? Who was kind of the names that were pushing when you started paying attention, or who may have motivated you? Maybe when you started making music, if that's a better question.
So when I started making music, I really didn't have my ear to the Arizona hip hop scene at all.
Okay.
There was definitely some Dipset, some Ludacris, some Eminem, you know, influences there. But as far as when I first started paying attention out here, honestly, you know, rest in peace, Trap, bro. He was the leader out here that everybody, you know, if you had to pick one from here, that was him. And so yeah, he definitely was one of the ones. I used to record a lot with Ben Cole, DC. He just dropped a joint.
Okay.
Fix City Boys. J-Rob the Chief. He was always a name on my radar as I was coming up.
Okay.
Futuristic for sure.
Definitely.
I used to do a lot of those Prove It shows when he was just coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, those are some of the names where when I started paying attention to the scene that were, you know, in my face.
Right. How long did it take you to feel like for you to get going? You know,
That's a good
there's a
question.
lot of people are on their journey. Some people, like Yoge's story was very different. He actually made a song as his calling card as an engineer and producer, and that song happened to take off for him.
Dope.
So he found himself
On the artist side.
without a lot of pre-experience, you know, all of a sudden performing and doing artist things.
That's very
and then
cool.
other people, you know, work very hard at open mics or smaller
Yeah.
shows and building their fan base, and you know, and it takes a while. You know, I think Yoge's story is very rare. I think most people it takes a while, but for some people it's different than others. That's what I'm getting to. How was your, you know, because as I have come to you, you're a very established, well-respected, predominant artist of this area.
Thank you, man.
So
Thank you.
that's the way I view you.
Right.
But I'm sure on your journey, it
Yes.
wasn't always like that.
No,
It takes
sir.
a minute to get to that point.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I've been, I guess, going for it or on my way since at least 2014, 2013. But it wasn't, I never had like a clear vision of it. It was always that I got something special. People should pay attention to me. Why aren't they listening? Why aren't they listening? Why aren't they listening? And then I think around 2016 is I had like actually even fallen back from putting music out a little bit in 2015. And then 2016 rolls around and I said, hey, I'm gonna get back out there. And I said to myself, well, instead of me just dropping a bunch of music and going for it again the same way, I was like, let me just try something different. I'm gonna go and just follow through on everything I say I'm gonna do this year, whether it's music related or not. Because my calling card used to be in family, friends, school, whoever you knew me in walks of life would be. Joseph's phone is probably dead, and he probably won't respond to you. But that's okay. That's Joseph. It was never no shade or no hate. They just knew, hey, that's Joseph. He'll never get back to you.
A lot of artists are similar to that.
And I said that's a terrible MO to have if I want to do anything successful in this life.
In the business world.
It's especially in business. So I said, okay, let me break that mold first. And so that's what I did that whole year. And then 2017 rolled around. I started hitting the circuit again tough. I'm talking, like you said, every open mic, bro, chop and walk. We're driving to Tucson, doing little shows at the, I can't remember what it's called, the Loud House, something. But yeah, every little joint I could possibly do. And I'm doing every show like there was 1,000 people there. And if you're not paying attention, I'm rapping right next to you, brother. If the cord don't go that far, I'm standing on the table, I'm rapping right to your lady, man. Like, you're not gonna pretend like you don't feel this. I'm making it, you feel it, he feel. I know you feel this, bro. You can't not feel it. So I would just be in your face everywhere I could possibly perform at. And people started just remembering me like, yo, that dude got a lot of energy, bro. And that's where the max out is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been saying maxed out since 2013 when turn up was the phrase. I said, you can't turn up if you maxed out. We live at 11 over here, right? They say lit. I said, now I'm over lit. What are you talking about, man? Right. So, and that's just, my natural, like you said, it's my natural personality. I'm very hyperactive, man. Like, so that comes across in the music, comes across in my performances, and I really believe in what I do. I believe in what I'm saying. I really care. I love to do this, and so I think that comes across. And then people just started remembering my name. The more places I would go, I walk into a room. Shoot, I just went to a house, a mansion party. I think it was last night. My days were together.
Shout out to Exclusive.
Yeah,
and
there we go.
My homie DJ P, DJ.
Yes, exactly.
And a lot Briefcase Music. A lot
that
of great
was my
performances.
homies. Briefcase was up. That's why I went to go see.
Okay.
I walk in and bro, I'm getting like mad handshakes, and I'm like, damn, like this is really, really dope. You know what I mean?
Your bills were already there,
bro. Yes,
I saw that.
I saw that. Come on, man.
It doesn't get better than that, right?
Bro, I walked in the party. I'm going to pour myself a drink. I'm looking at myself. I was like, come on, man. Like, if it all stops tomorrow, I gotta be so grateful with what God has blessed me with, man. I walk in somewhere and my name already all over the floor. Like, man, that was dope.
Well, your name definitely precedes you in a good way, in a real way.
Well, I love that. That's good to hear. Definitely good to hear.
Who inspired you to take it so seriously? I mean, it sounds like you were serious. You took a step back, and that empowered you. But who inspired you to take music from just listening to it to actually doing it? What do you think motivated you to do that? You mentioned your brother played you Cash Money, and you mentioned you had a conservative family. I had a conservative family as well.
So, check this. So I used to, rap at the lunch tables, right? But I'm always rapping other people's raps,
Okay.
And, Lil Bow Wow was just coming out at the time. He's the same age as me.
Okay.
And I'm like, he's in movies and he on the radio. And I said, why am I rapping this dude's raps? I can do this. I can write this. So that's when I started writing it. But as far as like taking it serious, I think there just came a year where I was like, where I understood like nobody owes me anything, right? So although I have this talent, I got this gift, and I believe in it, and everyone that knows me believes in it, no one has to support me. No one has to go play my stuff and buy my music. And I think it just clicked for me like, man, you got to stop rapping that angry rapper rap, like listen to me and just do what you love and find your people, Right. There's billions of people on this planet, bro. Someone's going to care about what you care about, right?
We're certainly glad you got away from the rapidy rap anger.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Because it's a pit you can fall in, especially as an artist when you don't feel like you're being respected the right way.
Because you get entitled, but it's like, bro, what have you done? Who are you? Why do I have to care about you?
Right.
So I tell anyone that asks me any type of what can I do, or bro, you be out there, how do you do it? I'm like, A, you don't ever stop. B, I don't really sleep a lot. You see, we were doing this interview. I just shot a whole video earlier today after I worked the shift. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Well, you work a lot, and I know you work a lot on and off. You work a lot regular. You work a lot hip hop.
Yeah.
You just work a lot. You're hardworking.
I have to, bro, because no one's gonna do it for me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's
a good lesson for everybody.
A long answer to a short question was, basically, I just got tired of feeling entitled, and I said, let me go earn it. And so that's when I just put the work in, and I just haven't stopped.
What do you think hip hop, like we talked about, is you mentioned you started around 2012, 13, and got serious around 2016. Hip hop has gone through a large transition from hard copies to MySpace and YouTube, and it was very, around the time you started, it was very confusing. Now everything's settled. We know. iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, we know where the music's at. We know where it comes out. And pretty much everything from independent, the most independent artists to the biggest artists come out the same way on the same platforms, which is kind of different for hip-hop, for the world, of music, But now it's easy. For a while there, it was transitioning. Do you think any of the older ways are better? Do you still press hard copies, for an example?
For sure, I still press hard copies because people want to hold something, right?
Yeah.
I like CDs myself. Whether I put it in or not, I like to have it. I like to support that.
I like the artwork.
You know what I'm saying?
I've always been a fan of artwork.
Yeah, and I always put something special. Like on my last one, you open it up. There's a letter to my fans. You're not gonna read that letter unless you have that CD.
Right.
So do I think it's better? For today, I can't say it's better. I can say that it's valued still. And, some people, the internet don't work for them, and that's cool, bro. I'll always be out the trunk, bro. Like, shoot, what did I walk in here with a green shirt, right? We on a green screen.
Right.
He was like, no, you got a green shirt. I said, don't worry.
You got a different
always
shirt.
got Bill shirts.
Got Bill shirts.
JosephBills.com, I got Bill shirts for sale. Holla at me. Like, it's the slogan for a reason. But, so I'm a big fan of doing it the old way because that's what worked best for me. I'm like an in-person kind of person,
Right.
It's hard for me. Like I'm a salesman at my job, but I'm a face-to-face salesman, right? A phone salesman, it don't translate the same. You got to feel what I'm saying. You got to see it in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always gonna be that face-to-face guy. But I'm telling you, I'm dumping.
I would think you would teach other people how to sell with your. If you could translate that energy to other people,
I definitely.
I think your general energy is good for sales.
The main thing to think about too, whatever it happens to be that you're trying to sell, whether it's yourself or a product, is care about somebody a little bit. You're not gonna lose nothing, and I promise you'll gain the world, bro.
Right.
Just a little bit of genuine care of another person, whatever it might be, in whatever field you might be in.
It goes a long way because people are starved for it.
Real talk.
And I think it brings up why I've new to the area, but put in a lot of work out at the shows. I watched you at the anniversary for AZMT, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
You performed there.
Yeah.
And so I love DJing, being involved, watching artists do their thing. And I'm fortunately I've partnered with Respect the Underground and Icon, and we're booked through January because I like to give artists their flowers. That's one of my shows, along with the mission. I like to sit down and help artists realize their potential, realize
That's
how
dope.
great they are, because
We need that, bro.
there's definitely things missing here, and I'm trying to provide one of those, which is a good broadcaster that'll give people a good interview to really get into their career and their goals and all of that.
I can tell just from the fact that you listening, you got questions prepared. Like, this is crazy, you know what I mean?
And we can
Like,
talk about this. Is just so I don't like this. I just
No,
like
I
to
love
keep it
it though,
moving.
but
So
I love it though. You know
Is
what I'm saying?
anything
You
else we can
prepared,
talk
bro.
about?
You
We can.
prepared, man. That's
Which
dope.
which streaming service do you prefer? Do you think is the best?
The streaming service I prefer to listen to the most, probably just Apple, because I got an iPhone.
Apple is a fan. What about as an artist then?
As an artist, it's got to be Spotify because it's just the most accessible because they have a free version, right? They
Right.
do pay the least, but I also get my music uploaded there the fastest. It's always at Spotify.
And people have said
first.
that more numbers are there, so even if you get paid less, you might end up still making more.
It's a tricky situation with these
People don't go
numbers,
to
bro.
Tidal.
No, because they got to pay for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Tidal pays out the most, right?
Sure, they pay
But
by far the best.
it's a tricky situation with these numbers, man. They say numbers don't lie, but that's not entirely true, bro.
Right.
Numbers can definitely lie, especially
Well,
in
I think
2020, man.
I know as a podcaster, and I'm sure as an artist, there's a lot of tomfoolery, forgive my language, fuckery that goes on online, because anything could be created. It's our little never land. So I think hard numbers somewhere are what you have to end up showing people to prove your worth, because to get paid, you have to prove your worth.
The biggest place for me where I can show those hard numbers to prove my worth is at a show.
Yes.
Because the Max Out Mile, God bless everyone that supports me in Max Out. If you support me in the Max Out Mile, whether you knew it or not. But they show up and they show out, bro. We go hard when there's a
One of the few
performance.
people I've seen perform in flat bottoms, which I think is another level. Flat bottom shoes.
For real?
I don't see a lot of rappers perform in dress shoes.
Who did that?
You did.
I did?
You didn't?
I killed. Oh, wait.
I
Did I
think-
do that at the anniversary joint?
I think at the anniversary, I'm pretty sure you had flats on.
In my loafers?
I think you had loafers on. Yeah.
Yo.
I was impressed. I noticed things like
crazy,
that.
bro. I'm a monster, bro.
As an artist, I'd have been falling all over that
You want to
stage.
hear something even crazier, homie? And not just to show you my slides with my logo on them, but
Hey, branded.
Listen.
Hey, young artist out there, he's branded.
That's got bills from head to toe.
That's
baby.
his logo.
Check this out though. I did a joint in these slides at the Big Cat Energy 2. Shout out to lovely Janae and her company. They threw a benefit concert, raised a lot of money to save some big cats. And my last song with my boy Ace the Biz, I sure did perform in these slides, and I almost slid and bust my ass, but I didn't because I'm a professional.
That's right. That's right. Do you have a go-to white friend?
Yeah, I got a couple of them, man. My boy,
Not that you. I'm not trying to make it like, oh yeah, I can do whatever. I got a white friend. No, I think. We're in the day and age when people should have a go-to white friend.
You should definitely have a go-to white friend.
You might have questions.
You might have questions.
Not even the old joke about getting pulled by the police. Maybe it might help in that situation as well. But just to translate some of white America to help you out in the world.
My go-to white friend.
Who's your go-to white
has got to be my videographer, Solo Visions, Dan Hayes, the soloist of Visions. And it is definitely because of getting pulled over. I've been with him, right? And this is many years ago, so don't judge me, listeners.
Sure.
But we on our way to a show, right? Back when the Big Fish Pub was still the Big Fish Pub. That's how long ago. And, I'm smoking. I'm not driving. I got the little bowl up
to the
there.
new listeners to the town, the Big Fish Pub was
a regularly frequented hip hop castle, right? Everyone went and came to the Big Fish Pub, right off.
If you were anybody
University.
that fucked with hip hop, you went to this place.
You know about
just
the Big
for the
Fish
people
Pub.
like me that are new.
There you go.
Go ahead.
So we driving down there. Of course, he's speeding, and we got some friends with us in the back, and I'm smoking up front, and we get pulled over. And I'm freaking out, bro. Every time we get pulled over, I've never snitched on anyone except Joseph Jills. That's my government, myself. I don't know how to not tell on myself. So anyway, he comes up to whose window? Of course, the passenger. It's on the freeway. He comes up to my window.
Right.
I'm just holding the thing right here under my thigh, bro. I'm losing it, right? He somehow, the car smelling like liquor, smelling like weed, he somehow talked himself out of not only a ticket, but hey man, make sure you get that insurance updated, drive safely. Not once, but 2 different times as I've been with him. He calls me, from time to time, 6, 8, 9 months at a time, but he'll say, hey, happened again. I'm like, man, 2 middle fingers to you, sir. How do you pull it off? I don't know how he does it, man.
He sounds like a good white friend to have in the clique. Yeah.
And he does 99% of my videos, so he's definitely a good white boy to have in the clique.
There you go. Good white guy. Everybody, get you one.
Get you one.
I do run a service if you need to. If you have white people in your life and you're not sure their true intentions, or if you want to verify their outlook on life, I do run a service to where we will validate your white folks for you. I got plenty to talk about. Why don't we play a couple tunes and take a little break, and then we'll come right back.
I'm with it.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me get to. I'm glad you're here tonight. What's while I'm getting some of your music up, what do we have any shows coming at all? Is there any shows on the horizon for Joe Bills?
Man,
the Mansion Party was something last night.
Yeah,
There've been a few things.
I didn't perform. I
just went to support. I got it,
man. Shoot, I don't have anything booked right now. There's a couple people throwing a couple shows I'm in negotiations with, but nothing's been settled yet. So as a possibility, I could do something around Halloween. We might throw our own joint. I don't know, man. There's nothing in concrete yet, so y'all just gotta stay tuned and keep bumping the music so I can get a couple dollars to keep making this thing happen.
Yeah, that's it. Let's get into Super Saiyan from Joseph Bills.
Yay! Go up here at Sun Studios. Max out.
The Underground Radio.
I'm feeling Super Saiyan. KO Kent. I'm maxed out. I'm overlit. I'm maxed out. I'm overlit. I'm feeling Super Saiyan. KO Kent. I'm maxed out. I'm overlit. I'm maxed out. I'm over it. It's time to show retirement. I've been maxing out like ever since Turn Up was the prior lit. I'm tired of it, man. I swear it happened all the time, man. If everybody lit, then how is anybody shining? Tell them I am turn a rock into a diamond. They gesture somewhat violent, I just show them ultraviolet. That's that frequency that I need to be if I intend to reach my dreams. Or I pretend to rock some fees, rude boy, no one rock with me. People blowing smoke.
One and only Joseph Bills on the mission tonight. If you want to talk to Joseph, call in 804-305-6570. Call in the Max Out, Max Out.
They wanna be like Mike, but ain't nobody fast. They just want the ring, I'm going for the bell. They wanna be like Mike, but ain't nobody fast. They just want the ring, I'm going for the bell. I'm feeling Super Saiyan, KO Kid, I'm maxed out, I'm overlit, I'm maxed out, I'm overlit. I'm feeling Super Saiyan, KO Kid, I'm maxed out, I'm overlit, I'm maxed out, I'm overlit. Oh man, I'm so overlit, bro. Everything can't be lit, bro. You're not going to the grocery store, it's lit. No, it ain't, bro. You shopping at the grocery store, homie. You're not going to the mall, it's lit. You by yourself, bro. Don't lie like it's lit, homie. Everything can't be lit. You either smoking some or smoking something. You feel me? Super Saiyan. This power level is far surpassed.
He's live in the studio tonight. Joseph Bills, the one and only.
Super Saiyan.
This is Maxed Out, Maxed Out. The one and only Joseph Bills. Hardest working man in Arizona hip hop. Let's go.
I'm maxed out, they ain't gotta turn me up. Nah, they ain't gotta. I'm maxed out, they ain't gotta turn me up.
I like this one. Let's go, Joe.
Nah, they ain't gotta. I'm maxed out, they ain't gotta turn me up. Nah, they ain't gotta. I'm maxed out, they ain't gotta turn me up. Nah, they ain't gotta. It's like the 90s with my crew. I'm fixing to bust a move. Call me Bill like past due or just blue. But only thing I'm breaking is the rules. Hang 10, Calabunga dude, a mutant adolescent with affinities for food. So unless you April Fool, ain't nobody saving you. Brain freeze like what they think is cool. Should've stayed in school. I'm on top of the flow, inflatable. Hunger ain't a game, nah, it's insatiable. Tell me how they asking for seconds when they play this fool. If you ask me, these sketchy artists are totally erasable. Head to head, I'm calling tails different with the bets. Cheap turner, you would think that I just visited Tibet. Peace scripture, see war will only lead you into death. I'm trying to be the light that shine inside the valley of death. Decide to rally behind me, and when I finally get to the front, don't front like you always had my back. Back then, it was dreams, aspirations of the rapper life. Chose to make lyrics more important than the cash, and I didn't know it then, but know it now. That was a sacrifice. Seeing people reach fame and fortune, and they ain't half as nice. I ain't with the cat and mice, dogging all the racks in sight. No degree in my field, but believe me, I'm masterminds. This is bills that can't match my price. They turning up to get a piece. I'm maxed out. They can have my slice.
It's one of my favorites. Go by the name King Mo. Y'all get ready for this LeBron talk coming.
This funny to me, this money to me. You could spot a bunch of rappers say they hungry.
Max out. Joseph Bills in studio, live interview tonight. We get into the music, we get into everything. Let's go.
Why for me it's crunch time like a motherfucking sit down. I'll be so sick of the motherfucking
East Coast head nod, VA step up. New York, Baltimore. Hey, DC, tap in. Let's go.
Here's a toast to the homies holding the flow down. Know I'm roaming the whole town. Overspoken is so loud. Dope is potent as 4 pounds. Smoking dose and you zone out. Most of folks in the zone now claiming they on the throne. How? You ain't the business, cause you okey doke the system. A hokey for commitment. I go in for a difference. So the mode of flipping ain't the only way to get it. You can fake it, maybe make it. I stay real to recognition. Paid dividends for me and for Christ. I'm trying to unify the races, kinda Lisa Rice. But all jokes aside, you knew the hype, but y'all chose to ride. So what? Now you're at the top and you don't like to fly? Well, I'm Denzel, barrel rolling in this bitch. You know I'm cold, I probably leave with Eskimos up in my whip. Frozen solid as the piss, the top my favorite Afro pick. Liam Neeson, take my style and I kill one of your kids. You ain't for real, they would do you in the street. Talking shit over a track don't make you do on the beat. You do on the beat, not shitting, you just a pile of it. Suckers say they dope when they really just a vial of it. Not even raw, you snort it or knock it high or nothing. I'm so potent that the smell alone on how the prices jumping. They give you one knowing they supposed to supply 100 crabs constantly clawing at me, so I provide the bucket. Like what? It's not a problem, it's nothing. God got the instruction, follow with no reluctance. In exchange for the love and utter faith in his son, then really no one but him could ever bring my destruction. So I'm on my Wisconsin, I'm a cheddar head, always running for the green. You should call me lettuce leg. If my homies cut throat, that means they really sever heads. Living out my dream day to day as if I never slept. Suckers say they at the top, only on the second step. Cats claiming king, but ain't even got no chuckers left. Say they playing chess, believe they can check the depth. Forget football pieces, so the puzzle I'll be right to set. Don't wanna pay bills, tell them to expect the debt. No need to clown, mama taught me to respect the debt and not to follow fakes. I'm fact checking references. Told me money talks, all these frauds is at a deficit. Judging their reaction, they either dumb, deaf, or dead. Begging me to dumb it down, I keep going dumb instead.
Yeah.
Hey, that was King Mode from Joseph Bills. That was one of his more boom back traps that, even if that's not your sound, if that's not how you're going to make your bread, I still like to hear those every now and then.
You know, I like to do them every now and then. And I got something special
You were just
for
talking about maybe rehashing those lyrics?
Yeah, man, I said those bars are so slept
I would maybe
bro.
remix it with a different boom bap beat, but don't put, keep it what it is because I love it. But if people aren't aware of that, I want to put them onto it because that's definitely a banger.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you digging in the crates for that.
What? Let's talk about some collabs. As we went through, you have a few collabs that I saw, and I'm sure you have more that I didn't see. You know, just for anybody who wants to know, I think you had 180 songs on SoundCloud. I'm not sure. I didn't go everywhere, but I mean Spotify. You're everywhere. You have music everywhere, and you have a lot. Very prolific artists. You have a lot of music.
I've been blessed with some
so
nice
maybe
collaborations.
I saw some of your collabs. Maybe I didn't see them all. I'm gonna give you some names, and you just give me the first word that comes to your mind when I name these people you've had collaborations with. Easy enough. Simple enough. Davey Fresh.
Monster.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
Because I'm just familiar of he's on the remix.
He's on that What's Poppin', but the first track we did together is
talk about the first track.
Negroes Need Me without the clean version, and it's funny because actually, and shout out to Trucker Steve, he had a contest where it was like almost like a guess how many fingers I'm holding up type of thing, like just guess some number, right? And you get a free video. And so me and Davey Fresh picked the same number. So he put us all in a group chat. He's like, look, y'all both won. What do y'all want to do? And I'm like, bro, I've been wanting to work with you. He's like, yeah, me too. So we just met up at my boy Fonz's house. Shout out to Fonzarelli Project. And man, we put together, that song is one of the biggest songs on stage, one of the biggest songs you can listen to. Like, it is just a beast of a track. So he's definitely a monster. First word.
You brought his name up, so we'll get to him. Fonzarelli Project.
First word I'm going to say is perfectionist. It gets a lot of negative connotation being a perfectionist.
Sure.
But I think people need to look at the other side of that coin. If you're a perfectionist, that means it's perfect. That means what you're putting out is a close to perfect level.
Now, I feel like he's a little bit of everything. Is he a producer, engineer, and an artist? Is he all three?
And an artist.
Triple threat.
The man can do it all. He does it all.
And a perfectionist.
You should.
How does he get anything done?
Bro, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does. He stays up till 5 in the morning. He wakes up at noon and he just keeps going.
Right, I got
But yes, the music I've heard that people have not been privy to is just otherworldly, and I can't wait for him to release it.
Right. Okay. Well, that's and we don't have. I said one word. We don't have to keep it to one word.
Yeah,
I like
fault.
to get no. It's my fault.
Everywhere. It goes everywhere.
I like better getting the entire impression.
Yeah,
I like that better.
It happens. It's natural. I can't help it.
De La Prime.
And
I just say this to start you off. This is one of the artists that I heard his music before I, saw him perform. I liked his music without meeting him immediately. And again, I think with you, he's one of the premier AZ artists. But De La Prime,
that's it right there.
My take on it.
Supreme Kai is De La Prime. He is just on that level that whatever that last thing it is that every artist needs to go, worldwide or whatever, he's there.
I definitely think he's there.
He's right there. Yeah. And whatever that little thing is, as soon as it hits him, he's going to be worldwide.
In this crazy world of the internet, he's still got a certain amount of mystery about him.
Right. Which is
I think is key.
Which is super dope, actually, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if you already loved him without seeing him perform, when you see him on stage, you're just gonna be like.
When I heard the music, I was attracted to it, and the more I hear the music, there's no, everything is just better and better. His again, I saw him perform at the AZMT anniversary, I believe, and again, just the performance matches everything I had heard. Just an artist. I think he's ready to go.
Exactly.
I want to say this right. Jamie Cornelia.
Hey, Jamie Cornelia. Yeah.
Close enough. Cornelia.
Yeah, the closest
okay.
one.
All right.
I would say her elite is what I would call her because, and she's one of those do-it-alls herself. She does all her own graphics.
She sing, rap. What does she do?
Has done a little bit of singing lately, but she raps. I mean, the bars are just out of this
Does
world.
her own graphic
The
artist
charisma is stupid.
Okay.
The creativeness, the creativity that she provides, whether it's music, graphics, whatever she's doing, is just on that level where you're like, bro. Honestly, she's probably the one person I know that is like, she's living fully off of music, fully. Like, I'm talking no job, no loans. Like,
well, that's an incredible. Every artist recognizes
tours,
that's an incredible.
You
step.
feel me?
Yeah,
Tours state to state, has fan bases set up in different states that she just goes and eats in. She's definitely an inspiring artist that I've had the pleasure of working with.
Awesome. Chris Massive and the Dirt Squad. I don't know if they're two separate entities or they go together.
They are. Chris Massive. He also is engineer, but he is just a wordsmith. I'm gonna put that for the first word that comes to mind. Just every verse I hear from him is just incredible. Dirt Squad, they are, we'll say they're maxed out because they carry that energy every time we do a show together. They are just as hype
great
as my
name.
set.
Great name, by the way,
you know what I mean?
for Arizona group. Great name.
Yeah, them boys always bring it every time. The passion is there, and they got big things in their future too.
And I will say, no matter what kind of beat you're rapping over at the Mission, we definitely appreciate someone who can put the words together.
Oh yeah,
a wordplay.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's rap.
Yeah.
I hope you got something.
The sweet sound of talking that shit.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I love. Last but not least on this list, Doc Strange and Rara.
Oh, bro, the OGs, bro.
Well, you mentioned that was early on, so I saved them for last.
OGs, bro.
Doc Strange and Rara.
Rara, we gonna say the leader, bro. He's just when he raps, bro, like he just makes you want to be better. He makes you want to get better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then Doc Strange, he's just like the boss, bro. He owned his own record label, his own studio, engineer, produce, rap, like just he's a beast all around, bro. Beast all around.
Mm-hmm. What is your what do you think your main general motivation is when you're doing a collaboration? I know some artists just get on there to kill everybody with the lyrics, and some people focus more on making a better overall song and project. What is your motivation?
For me, I believe it's going to be closer to that latter because, and I always get so mad at the people I collaborate with because it always ends up being a verse that I wish I had on my own record. Like for some reason, I always write better on a collaboration track, and it's irritating to me because half of the collaborations I've done, 75% I've done, aren't even out yet, and I'm like, fam, you gotta drop this. People don't know I can rap like this. You gotta drop it.
Yeah, it's tough when it stays in someone else's hands and you can't control the output or when it drops and all that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Have you ever had a bad experience with a collaboration? Did other than them just not releasing the material? Did you have a studio session that went wrong, or did you have something that just you didn't even finish recording it, or
dang? You know what?
Did you have any bad experiences?
As I'm sitting here racking my brain, I really cannot recall a bad collaboration experience.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I feel like pretty blessed to never have one of those. Yeah, it's usually people that I've either at least encountered or have heard of, or they've heard of me. Either they're a fan of me or I'm a fan of them. Mm-hmm. So I think that mutual respect is always there. So it's never been.
It starts from there.
Yeah. Okay. Even the last one I did, dude was cashing out the engineer, and I was like, "Well, what's the ticket?" He said the number. I'm like, "Yeah, I got you half." He was like surprised. He's like, "For real?" I was like, "What you mean?" "Yeah, I got half. Like we building this together, bro. I'm not the mooch." You know what I'm saying? Right. And he's on that level too. So it's not like either one of us paid each other. So I'm like, I got half on this. We gonna get half the royalties together, right?
Sure.
I got half the expenses.
Yeah, that's respectful. It's honorable. I appreciate that. I hear that you have a lot of diverse production, and I look at the names, and it's a few. It's a lot of people. Do you have a go-to producer? Do you like to go with other people? Who's your go-to? Let's talk about
Abstract is my go-to guy. Mm-hmm. We've been through ups and downs, and we ended up on top of the mountain. The boy is just gifted, and there'll be times where I'm like, yo, man, I really need this like West Coast, like Oakland, like Bay Area kind of slap, but I want you to still like bring that like anthem type, and whatever I explain to him, he sends me, and it's like, It's always right on the money.
That's talent.
It's right on the money. And most of my biggest records or most loved or favorite records have been an abstract production. It's abstract on the beat. Every time, man.
Tight.
Yeah.
Where do you record at these days?
Mostly I'm recording at Fonz's studio, Numenaris.
Okay.
I do also record here, HKS, in the B room mostly. I haven't recorded with Brian yet.
Okay.
But Felix is a mastermind.
El Gato.
He's a mastermind.
Well, that's good. Your home team.
You know? And then also Digilabs too. I gotta shout out Digilabs. They've been
Okay,
there for
I've heard that
for a
name
lot of hit
before.
records
Yeah, I've
too.
heard that name.
Yeah.
I've heard that name. Who is your favorite Arizona artist?
My favorite Arizona artist.
Other than yourself, because
Right, you gotta be your own favorite. I
Yeah,
hope.
you got to be
I
your own
hope.
favorite.
Real talk. My actual favorite to see, to listen to is gotta be De La Prime.
I can totally agree with that.
I think it's just the energy, bro. Like the energy, it carries it for me, bro. And you believe him when he's rapping. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats, you hear it, you're like, maybe, Yeah. But when he speaks, you believe it, and
Very authentic.
Very exactly, and that's my major thing. That's what I want to bring across in my music: authenticity. You know what I'm saying?
You are, and that's
you can't fake no funks, bro. You can smell it.
It leads me to my next question. What for people? Maybe an artist out there is trying to find their own sound or personality. What do you think makes authentic music? What is a component? What gives you that feeling?
I think you just gotta
music?
know who you are.
Oh shit! Some shit fell down.
Shit
That's
happens.
okay. Yeah.
You got to know who you are, and even if you're still figuring it out, whoever you are, the realest version of yourself is what you got to give people. 'Cause-
Sometimes being real about the fact you're figuring it out is an interesting.
Do you know what I'm saying?
take. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to fake the fun. Like you asked me, I grew up in Scottsdale, and my wife's always like, I know you're not proud. I'm like, it is what it is. I can't control where I was born. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get into that.
And if somebody, you know what I'm saying, but that's just one of the aspects that as a rapper, you know what I'm saying, like in a rich area, like of course that's going to be something that's frowned upon, and it is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Question
control it.
Question it the least.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, okay, cool, but press play on something and then tell me what you think.
Right.
You know,
right.
watch a video and then tell me what you think. Come to a show.
In
and tell me what you
reality,
think.
people have a lot of perceptions and feelings, but in reality, we've been beyond that argument.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Run DMC's parents worked hard, but we're not poor, poverty stricken.
There you go.
There's a lot of we've had rappers
People struggle
for years,
in different areas.
We've had rappers for years that their family weren't poverty stricken.
Yeah.
And
still made great careers for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Great names.
Some
for
people have
themselves.
been more honest about it than others, and I think we're at a day and age where you have to be.
Yeah,
honest
see,
about
that's where it is. Where if you try to hide it or you're not honest about it, then it comes back to bite you. But even, I'll be honest with you, it still don't even come back to bite you. I mean, look at Rick Ross. He got outed for being a correction facility guard. It didn't matter. He still put M's and M's and M's in his bank account. Some people just don't care, bro. It is what it is. If you make good music, that's all they care about. And you know what?
And I think we're finally at a place where that is
More
all that
power to
matters.
you. More
I
power
think,
to you.
I think we're in a good place.
Is it good? Great. I like it.
When I first went to Scottsdale, now mind you, everybody may not know this, but I'm a 50-year-old white guy from the South. And when I went to Scottsdale the first time, it felt very white, even for me.
Bro, it's
What's
very
it like
whitewashed.
to grow up as a black man? And no matter where you grow up, you're still a black man. What's it like to grow up as a black man in Scottsdale? I'm interested genuinely. I'm not a racist, but I am.
I feel it. That's a great question,
I am
man.
kind of a racial guy. I've had to deal with race my whole life, being a white guy in hip hop, and we're still dealing with
course.
some of those obstacles and hurdles.
Which is crazy. It's 2020. Come on now.
So but yeah, I think we're getting to a place where it doesn't matter as much. You can be pretty much anybody. But that's my question to you: is not to dwell too much on it.
No,
but
you
what
good.
was it like as a black man to grow up in Scottsdale?
So it was cool as far as I knew, right? As a boy, I'm like, yeah, this is great, whatever. I'm going to swimming in my friend's house. Everyone got pools, you know what I'm saying? But then that's when I brought this up earlier, talking about people are people everywhere you go. There was a lot of two-facedness that I experienced maybe through my middle school to high school years, where I'm like,
That's
yo,
when it starts to get real.
yeah,
right?
and I'm like, I thought we was friends, and you're hearing things that people are saying and thinking, and you're like, I'm blindsided. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I just spent the night at your house. Like, I thought we was boys, So a lot of that two-facedness is what drove me to be like, yo, let me move to anywhere else, bro. I'm on Longmore and Dobson. I'm at Sunny Slope, like I said, and I liked to be in the hood. I enjoyed it because the friends I met down there that still respected me for who I was, they're like, yo, how is Joseph the one down here bringing this and that in? You know what I'm saying? Like, he from Scottsdale. He hooked up, like, whatever. But it was the genuineness, whether they liked me or didn't like me, it was more upfront. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to wait years and years to find out, oh, we not really friends. It was I don't mess with you, or I do. And so that's what I really appreciated when I started moving around. But then, as like I said, people are people, bro. And, you know, if fake is everywhere, real is everywhere. You know, you just gotta find it, you gotta embrace it, and just keep your people around you.
That pretty much encapsulates my experience in, you know, hanging out with black people in hip hop. It was just a realer, you know, like you said, people liked you or didn't like you.
You found out quicker.
It was immediate,
a lot quicker,
immediate, and usually more passionate, one way or the other.
Exactly.
You know, and when I came along, DJing, rapping, being a white guy in hip hop, you were somewhat magical. People treated you somewhat like you were
a unicorn.
A magical person.
Well, especially when and I could tell. I mean, shoot, I've seen some of your battles, and I'm like, yo, he raps like. So, like I said, the talent speaks for itself. Yeah. You could have all the preconceived notions you want, but as soon as you press play on something, you're gonna find out what's up.
And people figure out with me pretty soon. It comes from a genuine love of hip hop.
Exactly.
And I love seeing people express themselves through hip hop. You know, and I like to sit down and talk and share experiences, because I think life, at the end of the day, you know, what do you get money for? You get money to have better experiences.
Exactly. That's all it's for.
You get money to have better stories to tell your friends and brag about. You get money to have a better experience with a better female or a better male or whatever your swag is. And, you know, so at the end of the day, all we have is experiences. So I think it's incredibly valuable to sit down, especially with artists, and share these experiences. I think the people listening to other artists can get a lot. It's just in general entertainment. And me having been an artist and a DJ for a long time, I think I have a good perspective on it. I like to sit down and listen to you.
I would agree with that. Well,
I appreciate you for saying that. That's why I'm here, and that's why I like to do it. It comes from a genuine place. Have you ever had, now sometimes when I ask artists questions, I kind of know the answer, but I have to ask it anyway.
I love it.
Have you ever had rap beef?
Not for real. The only rap beef that I would have been, like I said, on that little battle site when I'm like 13. I haven't had any actual.
I think it's interesting you started out as a battle rapper. When did you
is nuts,
when
right?
did you don't come off like that. You come off as an artist.
Yeah.
Which is usually, it's very easy, you know, people are leaning one way or the other, and it's usually easy to tell. That's one thing I wanted to address. I'm glad that came back around. What got you away from battle rap?
Just a life in general, because like I said, that was just online anyway, right? That wasn't even in
no events.
That wasn't in the streets.
Nowhere you could go.
That wasn't a face-to-face thing.
Right.
So when I started making music, like all my songs early on would come across like as if it was a battle. And my boy, like, shout out my boy DJ Sibley, he was like, "All right, cool, man, but can you make a song? Like, do you even know what bars are?" And I was writing my stuff out. It looked like an essay. You know what I'm saying? Just sentences that I would just read. He was like, "Bro, you gotta structure it. You gotta have bars. There's too many right here. Like, you gotta."
What was his name?
Chorus.
Let's give him a shout out.
Shout out DJ. Yes, DJ Sibley, bro. And straight up, yeah, he was the first one to be like, "All right, cool, you can rap, but what about making a song?" And so then I started to shift my focus to, okay, let me make something as a song. And then years and years go by, and I'm like, okay. Because, you know, I don't know about every artist, but I went through periods where they're like, yo, we want to hear this from you. And I'm like, cool, let me give you that. Oh, we want to hear this. All right, let me do that. And then I look back 10 years later, and Kendrick Lamar blows up doing what I was doing when I started. And I'm like, yo, I could have just stayed the course.
Before you were listening to everybody else.
Feel me? Right, I'm like, before I started, and I'm not saying to ignore opinion or critique, especially from someone you trust or someone that has a good ear that has your best interest at heart. You should always listen to those, take it with a grain of salt, maybe implement their advice, maybe not, but still soak it up. But I'm just talking about like random people like, nah, man, you should make a club banger. Like, I didn't used to go to no clubs, bro. I didn't care about no clubs, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, it just come to a point where I was like, okay, let me try to make something that someone can enjoy and then listen to again.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like a puzzle.
It is.
Don't you think writing songs
is
really kind of
like
it's kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of like a very intricate, the words, and it's all to what your goal is. Are you trying to be the most intricate wordsmith? Are you trying to make a good song that flows easily?
Right.
Whatever your goal is, it's like a different puzzle.
Yeah.
So, you know, and some people put together the
best artists can put together a bunch of different puzzles.
Right.
A bunch of different kinds of puzzles.
A bunch of different puzzles.
3Ds, jigsaws, 200, 2,000 piece, whatever.
Right. I agree. And it really is an art to it. Do you follow any conspiracy theories?
Oh, yeah. All right, so check this out. When you
So,
say
all right, because we can go all night. I don't want to
Look.
go. We could go all night if you're that kind of guy.
when you say follow,
Well, what do you? Yeah, what's on your plate right now?
I want to know.
Conspiracy theory.
I want to know. Okay, who says the Earth ain't flat? I'm not saying I'm a flat earther. What I'm saying to you is, right now in Texas, there are school books that say that slavery was a migration. Right, that's what they're teaching
Right,
kids.
yeah.
So 20 years
They're
from now,
softening it,
when
right.
those kids grow up and they honestly believe
Right.
slavery was a migration, they don't know no better. That's what they were taught. So all I'm saying is, we were all taught. Every one of us were taught. This is it. The Earth is it. But so what? They could have made that up, and then now we just all the offspring that believe.
Or they could have been guessing. They could have, and honestly, they could have been guessing, and
don't
just
know.
they don't want to come off that. It's been so accepted. They don't
can't
want to
back
come off
now,
the-
right? But I'm just saying, like for instance, like one of them. You know what I'm saying? But what kind of conspiracy theories are you into?
I'm with you. Well, I like those. I like the big ones, but I also like the personal ones. Like my personal one is, what's going on with spare change? What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Because they tell me, people aren't shopping and doing retail as much during the COVID, and so that's responsible for the change not
Shortage.
transpiring. But I have a hard time believing that because, first of all, like if you have 9 customers that go into the store, most of those people are gonna, need change. They're gonna take change.
Exactly.
They're not gonna give change. Only old ladies and
Yeah.
and
Paying exact change.
Hebrews, people like myself
Yeah.
that are very tight with money.
Right.
We carry
You count
extra
it out.
change.
Yeah.
Or if you don't like to carry change in your pocket, you give that change so you can get an even dollar back. There's very
Mm-hmm.
few people that do that. So what I'm saying is most people use a card. Of the people that use cash, most people are taking cash from the business. They're
Yes.
not giving it.
Right.
So how did those people not coming in decrease the amount of cash? It doesn't make
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to train you into a cashless society.
It feels
It's
that
a
way.
fact. I'm telling
it feels
you,
that
it's
way.
a fact.
It feels like this had to come from the federal government
It
down.
did. Of course it
Because
did.
when you actually do the research on how much money they mint, not the cash, but the actual change that they mint every year, for it all to just be gone,
all of a sudden in 6 months,
it's pretty,
in 8 months,
it's pretty
really?
rare. Yeah,
all
it's
of it in
pretty-
America.
It's a weird thing to me. That,
And you know how unreal money is. Like, the Federal
Oh,
Reserve.
sure. Yeah.
Bro, you ever heard of the Bilderberg Group?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm,
so
I'm all the way
hip
there
to
with
it.
you.
You hip to it.
I'm all the way there. When you started talking about flat Earth, I'm thinking Eddie Bravo, and I'm thinking I don't know if you know who Eddie Bravo is, but he's a MMA guy, friend of Joe Rogan, but he's a big proponent of the flat Earth, and he
I'm gonna look him up now.
He doesn't like talking about it. He doesn't want to be the poster child for
He don't wanna be a
conspiracy
target,
theory,
bro.
right? Yeah, but it's a lot. If you look into it, like he says, it's a lot of weird things about the flat Earth, and there's a lot of weird things about things we've been told.
Well,
and if
even
you know,
in the medical field,
the Egyptian history, they have fought very hard to keep this idea of everything happening in the last 5,000 years to stay true to the Bible or their
Yeah.
interpretation of the Bible. And time again, it's been proven the Sphinx is older and everything's older than what we've been told. So I very much agree with you that you cannot rely just on what we've been told, because
Right.
we're constantly told a bunch of bullshit.
exactly.
And people, especially doctors, they don't admit as much when they're
they don't
wrong.
want to admit no wrong.
as
Nobody
when,
can say, all right,
yeah,
bad.
We don't want to dive too deep into that. Why Scottsdale? If someone's moving to the Phoenix area, why Scottsdale?
Well, it's just nice. I mean, if you want to live somewhere
That's
nice,
the bare. That man, I tell you,
what you mean?
I swear you. Do you
It's-
sell real estate during the
it's
day? What do you
nice.
do? Yeah, because
But
it's nice.
Hey, but I'll tell you this. Me and my wife just moved to North Phoenix a couple years ago. Just nothing crazy, like 7th Street. But when I still drive around where I used to live, I swear to you, I still feel like a little uncomfortable. Like, I don't like going places where I gotta feel uncomfortable, bro. And a lot of those places I go to shop or eat or anything.
Yeah.
Being a black man in a grossly white populated area.
Do you have like a card you could flash to be like, no, I grew up here.
No. I'm one of the good ones.
Well, yeah.
No,
Joseph
man.
Bill, Scottsdale for 30
Scottsdale
years
friendly.
or whatever.
I promise.
25 years. I've been here. I'm good.
No, man.
There's no card.
It don't matter, bro.
unfortunately.
When you look like me, they treat you like you look. And
Yeah,
that
I
is what
know.
it is, and
I
that's
know.
cool. Hey, if Starberry can get pulled over in a Bentley, then
Yeah,
it can happen.
It could
to
happen.
all of us.
Right.
Even
Even I could get yelled at by an old white lady
real
at a grocery
talk,
store. It
probably,
happens.
bro.
Yeah. No, I did.
You got polo on. Come
It
on.
did. It happened. It did. The Joseph Bill's sound? Like I mentioned before, I think you have a sound, and I think you kind of encapsulated in the max out, the double max outs. When did the max out? We talked about that when the max out phrase came about. And you said it was inspired by getting lit,
So it was really.
I'm overlit, so I'm maxed out.
It's inspired about going against what so-called quote unquote is in or cool or whatever, right? See, I'm not up on trends at all. I wear all my own clothes. A lot of people say great branding, like you shouted me out for. A lot of times I don't know what the cool clothes are. So you know what? I'm gonna wear my own clothes.
That's
right?
why I wear polo, because it's
real
never
talk.
goes
That was my go-to.
Yeah,
Polo
yeah,
man was the only thing that I was like love to wear. But the max out is really just because it's like it's okay to just be on this level all the time. Like, you don't gotta chill, you don't gotta calm down. Let them come up to your level, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you up here, you don't have to regulate yourself to fit into their box. You know what I'm saying? Like, go all the way, go balls to the wall. You know what I'm saying? All in, all the time. You feel me? Do everything, be everywhere all the time, because that's how I live. And you know what? The people that rock with me, they live the same way. So there's more of us out there. And if that's you, if someone's telling you all the time, oh, calm down, be like this, be like that, be like, nah, man, I'm gonna max out. That's what I'm gonna do. You know, and you can either get with it or miss it, bro.
I think it's incredible. Like, I maybe it's because you came up with that such a while ago that you've just kind of, cooked it down to its rare essence. But I mean, I don't know, just the combination of your personality, your music, your energy, the maxed out slogan. I mean, it all just comes across so genuine and authentic as you.
Thank you.
And makes you
a
bit of a character, which I think is what makes our hip hop.
It does.
Makes a hip hop.
Helps you go. It's a package. They can sell it now.
Right. And your whole thing. It's this big ball of positive energy. I think it's great, and it's really different. You don't always get that.
Yeah. Well, I like to live that way, man. I'm a real big believer in cheek turning, bro. I don't get mad. I get money. One of my favorite songs. That song was born from a situation where I got cheated in something, and it's like, okay, I can go back and get this $50. I think it was what I got cheated out of. But I ended up doing that day. I ended up making it $500 instead. Right. So it's like you can get mad or you can just get money. And you know what? If somebody cheats you in this life, people, everyone listening, just look at that as the cost of doing business. That's how much it costs to find out that person's character. Right. Don't be mad at them. That's what they do. That's in their nature. Now for X amount of dollars, you don't have to mess with them.
If it's a little amount of money, sometimes it's good to buy people off.
Hell yeah, man. There's been lots of little and some big amounts of money where it's like, cool, that's all it took. Okay. Because I'm going to be doing this forever, bro. And one day I'm going to get to that place where you're going to be like, yo, I know him. Like, nah, you knew him. Right. You knew him. Remember, you opted out of your contract for X amount of dollars.
You have no access for $50.
You bought out. You feel me?
Right. Mega Ran, along with a lot of artists, show you a lot of respect and salute you. And I just saw him speak.
Bro, that meant the most to me, man.
Is you can talk about that, and then talk about is that important to an artist in their career to have the respect of
your peers,
their fellow artists, and maybe people that are maybe 5 minutes ahead of you in the moves they're making. When somebody turns around and says, "I like that guy," let's talk about that. What Mega Ran's comments on you and the effect on your career, having the respect of other artists the way you do.
I mean, it's actually been a really big motivator for me, to people that I look up to then turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, I see you out here." Like, especially because one thing is I don't work so hard so that they do, but I'll put it like this. I've never been the kind of guy to ask for favors, and I might have missed out on a couple that I could have asked for, but my philosophy has been to work so hard that I end up in the same room as you anyway. And then when you turn to your left and you're like, oh yeah, I see you everywhere I'm at, let's work. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, that's how I got my first feature with De La Prime. I just happened to just be everywhere all the time, working my ass off to get booked on these shows, and boom, he's like, oh yeah, I know you. I got a verse for you. You know what I'm saying? And he charges for verses as he should. He should. And he gave me off the strength. You know what I'm saying? That was just the first one. So like, and Mega Ran is saying like that when anytime I see him, man, it's always love. Like, I get starstruck, bro. Like, I'm not afraid to be a fan, and I think some cats are, and that's okay. That's your lane or whatever. But I'm never gonna be afraid to be like, yo, bro, I look up to you. I respect what you do, man.
We were all fans first. Let's be honest.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But some people, and it might not be part of their persona or whatever. But for me, like, I'm just me. I'm just Bills. Like, I'm always gonna show love, man. Like, I enjoy seeing people win, truly, genuinely, to my core. You feel me? me? Like I want you to win. You know what I'm saying? Because A, you gonna get what you've been working for, and B, I'm gonna learn something from it, bro. I'm gonna get a gem somewhere, seeing how you stuck to your guns, or how you negotiated a deal, or how you marketed something. Like, you know what I'm saying? We could all learn from each other, and I think the more open we are to give people their flowers, shout out to Swerve 360, the better life's gonna be for all of us, bro.
Wednesdays, I'm gonna clip that out. Wednesdays, 5:30 p.m. AZ time, right here on Respect Underground.
And we got the drop.
I love that. I'm just getting in tune with getting all my drops together and everything.
Bro,
so I appreciate you dropping
I'm gonna
that.
send you over whatever you need, bro.
I appreciate it. Let me turn that down a little bit.
But
where did you get your work ethic? You have a supreme work ethic, which in a lot of artists, due to lack of organization, due to lack of role model, I don't know what it is. A lot of artists have trouble with work ethic. And I'm gonna be clear. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people, and I'm not even saying just young people. I have a lot of friends my age that had a problem with work ethic. A lot of people in general. So this is a human problem. Maybe you can help out humanity right now with your answer. Maybe it's a personal solution and you can't help people. But what do you owe the respect and credit to your work ethic?
I owe my work ethic to understanding that nobody cares, right? And it might sound harsh or blatant, but honestly, like, nobody cares. What are you gonna do to make them care? So a lot of cats get hung up on trying to impress maybe their peers. Maybe they want to impress the people around them. Don't do it to impress somebody, do it to be the best at whatever it is you're trying to do, and then realize that you have to do it every day. You got to do it every day, bro. So it's like, and even if you don't have the means to drop a video every month like we're doing this year, shout out Joseph Bills.
So much content. We'll get into that. I got to respect you. Just so much content, and it's all been good. It's not, but
it has to be, right? Because it's like, I look at what it boils down to, and I know I'm long-winded story time, but Joseph Bills gets away from me. What it comes down to is you need fans to win this game. You gotta have fans, bro.
Real fans, not casual fans.
It can't be just all your other friends that rap as well that support you. You will never make it to that level you want to make it at. Unless that's where you want to go, then great. But I want to do this forever, full time, where I don't clock in at all, to where I employ the people that have been riding with me for 10 years, to where they have jobs now doing this. We all taking the same flight to go across country, world tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to put people on that put me on. So it's like, my work ethic comes from knowing that nobody owes me anything, and regardless of how good I think I am, I need to always get better. I need to always be better. And so when it just hit me, I think, like I said, it was 2017, it was hit me like, bro, I got to do this, and I got to do it for real. You know what I mean? It can't just be a hobby. It can't be for fun. I hope you have fun with it. I have fun doing it every time, except all the business side. But it has to get done. And unless you got the bread to pay someone, that even if you pay someone to do all this business stuff for you, if they don't actually believe in you, what do you even know that they're doing? Can you even depend on them doing the things? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever needs to be done, I don't know that you can. So it comes down to me just having the self awareness to know that what I want to do in this life, what I want to do with my gifts, and what I need to do to get there.
All right. Do you have management?
I don't.
You don't. So you're doing this pretty much all yourself? Solo
dolo, except for the close homies that help me with the aspects I need help with.
I think that's important. I come from a place where on a lower level, not only are you at a level where you should be doing it yourself, because you learn the business so that one day if you are employing people to do it, you know how to check up on them. I was raised in a construction family, building houses and remodeling. And when I got into it as a young man, I didn't understand why my father was making me learn all of the subs work, the plumber, the bricklayer, electrician. I had to watch them to learn their work, because being in charge of the whole project, you have to know.
You gotta know what to check for.
You gotta know what your teammates are doing on the project. And I think I compare that the same to having a rap career. Eventually, if you get a manager or a publicist or an agent or a booking agent, these type of people, you need to know what they're supposed to be doing for you.
Yeah, what they're supposed to do.
Because if you don't know what they're supposed to be doing for you, then you have no reason, or you have no idea how to check them if they're not doing it correctly.
They can tell you anything, but if you can't look up on it, then how do you know it's even real?
So and in these days, with all the stories and the VH1 shows we've seen and heard, we really can't afford to just say, "Hey, I got tricked" anymore, can we? We can't.
There's too much much information. You got Google, man.
There's always more trickery going on. The record companies have adapted to the streaming age, and we've settled into a new
so much money.
We've settled into a new era of robbery and trickery and chicanery, and so it's up to you whether you want to enter that world or not.
As hard as we're working to get what's ours, they are working twice as hard to keep it.
Exactly. And there was a shakeup at first in the general internet. We all thought the internet would be a super escape of freedom of the Big Brother system, but they forgot that Big Brother knows about the internet too, and he just reworked the situation to his benefit. Shout out to those culture vultures out there doing it. But if you're doing it without a manager and you're doing it on such a good level, what do you think what is the stepping point where you think you would sign to a management company? Do you see that in your near future? What is the step that would make?
I see it in my future for sure, and the step is because people have told me you can reach out to people and you can hire them and boom, boom, boom. But I'm like, yeah, but look, I'm waiting for that one person that has the connections I need to get where I need to go to be like, yo, I see you. I can't believe no one's making millions of dollars with you yet. This is what I can do for you. And I'm just waiting for that person that can come along and provide those things that I can't do for myself, and then it's out of here. I want you to take 20%. I don't care if it's 15, take the 20, you know what I'm saying? But deliver on it, let me get in those places.
Smokey was on here last week, and he, Smokey Dollar. And
Shout out Smokey Dollar, he's the truest.
Okay, you like him? Dig him. He had a situation where he signed to a manager, and it just didn't work out because he was very clear that at this point in his career, he just doesn't have enough business so that 20% is worthwhile for someone to work. He had that kind of situation, and that's where again I think it leads to be where you can do it yourself.
You really can.
You really can if you got a smartphone or a laptop, and
you don't mind working.
But it does take a lot of work.
It's constant. It's constant.
I think more is expected from an artist now than ever. I mean, when I look and see the tweeting and the
you got to already be on for them to try to pick you up.
Making the memes and
fam, you know how much time.
And getting the people, if you're not doing it, getting the people to support you and have these other accounts that share and promote your music. Doing it on an independent level is surreal and now more than ever. So I admire, it's part of why I admire artists that go through all that just to get their self-expression out.
That's honestly what I appreciate the most. Like I hit you up, be like, hey man, you mind sharing this thing? I expected the one sharing, I would have been super happy and grateful.
Sure.
Bro, you shared it like all week, and I'm like, yo, like this.
Did we get to 500 by the way?
We're at 630 now.
Okay, good. 630 now. I'm happy. I hope I had a part of it.
Bless you. You did.
And
I know you did.
I just want. I'm trying to turn up and set a new standard for the interviews and the interaction with artists. I want you to know that if you come on my show, I appreciate you sharing your experiences and the gifts and gems you have for other artists, and that's a part of how I show my appreciation. I want to make sure the flyer looks like you're cool with the flyer. I'm going to try to give you some little promo videos.
Bro, the whole joint was so professional.
I'm going to try to, if it's something I can share, I'm going to share it for you, whatever.
And you know what? And that actually is like, it seems such a simple thing to do, to click that button, but it really means a lot, because at the end of the day, like, people are lemmings. And so, if so-and-so and so-and-so aren't shouting you out, then like, I'm good. But the minute, and I've seen this happen many times without no name need to be said, the minute so-and-so and so-and-so say, oh yeah, Joseph Bill's the man, okay, now it's cool for BB boom boom boom. Also, but I'm telling you, that's the way it works, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just say that to say I always appreciate when any one person supports what I'm doing, because they might not even know how much that means, but it really means the most, because you could be the A person that lets B, C, and D know it's cool to support now.
Sure.
And whether yours is genuine and theirs aren't, it don't matter, bro, because the more networks I can tap into,
momentum and synergy. Yeah.
That's how that snowball is going to get big enough to avalanche.
Yeah, no doubt. And I remember back, I think you're particularly good at the internet play. I'll give you that respect as well.
Yo, that's crazy.
No, but I remember back when you actually put out a picture of you on a green screen and invited people
to make the meme
to make funny memes about you. And I think to me that just shows not only a self-confidence as an artist, but just ingenuity. Like that was a smart move that I don't see everybody making those types of moves. Being playful,
really
making fun of yourself.
I appreciate you noticing that. I want to show you something real quick.
Okay, sure.
On my website, josephbills.com, there is a tab called Maxed Out Memes. What you saw was the third installment of what we did. I actually
the one I saw, I think you were like flying through the air.
Flying through the air.
Right.
Listen, we have installments of fans sending me memes. That's meme number 1. This is memes number 2. This is number 3. You saw number 4. So it's like I done that.
So now it's a thing.
I did it all 2019. All 2019. I did it 4 different times, and every time they come with some crazy. And I do a giveaway. You know, you got to give people something for spending their time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You don't have to, but I like to. You know what I'm saying?
It makes it funner.
And you know what?
It makes it funner if I can win something.
That's a great segue because any interview I do, I always bring something, and I always see you wear hats, bro. So I brought you a hat.
Oh, God bless you,
Yeah,
because
that's
I
not
need
mine.
some
That's
new.
yours, bro.
You know, I mean, this is a Swerve hat, so I rock this one. I need some. You know, always need things to wear. I appreciate everybody.
That's how
that
I
brings
like to
some-
show my appreciation
Oh,
how
man,
I
this
can,
is
bro.
love. I
So
want to show the camera this.
Yeah.
This is how you show your love to a podcast interview guy.
bring them something.
Bring me something. It's black. You know I wear black all the time. This
I looked
will be
for a black
worn.
on black. I didn't have it on me.
No,
I
that's
swear.
cool.
I tried though.
This is very like I'll go get the Raiders. I'll go get the new Vegas Raiders
See?
fit and wear this rocket with it. I'll
Already
figure
matching.
something out. But
Already matching.
with the logo and the sticker, everything right there. Appreciate that so much.
Of course, man.
I
That was a
appreciate
nice
that so
segue to
much.
give that to you. But
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
man, that's dope that you noticed that, man. I'm telling you, bro. These fans, bro. Like I'd be really be nothing without them, bro. Without the mob, it wouldn't be nothing. So I max out mob. Most love to y'all.
I just thought that was so smart when I saw that. I get the feeling there's a level of spirituality and faith. It's
the foundation.
It runs like a current through your music, but it's not. You know, you're far from a Christian rapper, if you will.
Right.
But I hear it. It's in
Yeah.
there. I won't ask, do you believe in God? Then you were raised believing in God as a Christian.
I was, and but here,
a Christian black man in Scottsdale.
you feel me? But here's
You may be Jesus, Joseph.
hey, the
Fields.
second coming. Look, here it is.
Jesus had a brother named
Don't
Joseph.
strike me down. Listen, now, yes, I was raised in the faith for sure, but what happened was there was some life experiences where, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, you never see God," and I respect you, man. People go through things where maybe they don't recognize Him showing up.
I've known people that have gone through serious earth-shaking things, and I've been through some things, but when you go through the worst of what life has to offer, it's easy for your faith to be shaken.
Very much so. And you know, flip side of that coin, it's very easy to find your faith in those moments too. Please save me. But then when everything's going good, He don't get no credit, bro. And so it was like, I think, what was it, 2015, right around when I wasn't really doing nothing. Me and my wife volunteered at our church we go to, and I was back there working the sound, and I was like, you know what, God, I figured it out. I was like, if this gift was just to praise you with, I was like, I'm cool with that. And it wasn't like a giving up moment or like, oh, I guess I'll never make it there, so I'll just settle here. It was a genuine me and God moment. Like, I get it now, bro. It's for you. I get it. And I, like, to this day, goosebumps every time I tell a story because it's real. I can track the blessings that will come. All I ever wanted people to scream my name and sing my songs and buy my merch and be a star, right? That's all I want growing up, the fame. And I was like, it's cool, bro. I'll just give you the glory. And I'm telling you, bro, ever since then, the blessings have not stopped trickling down. And my homies used to tell me, they'd be like, bro, you rap about God too much. And I'm like, fam, I wouldn't be alive on this earth right now if it wasn't for, I should be dead and in jail for some of my past, transgressions, legally and otherwise. You feel me? But the miracles came, and I said, okay, cool, bro. I can't waste these second and third and fourth chances He done given me. And I swear to you, the moment I started giving Him the glory for my accomplishments instead of me taking the credit for it, they have not stopped. And so I people now, they're like, yo, you at a level now where you the man out here, bro. You gotta start puffing the chest. I said, for what? For why? You see what's happening while I'm just like doing what I'm doing? I'll let y'all big me up. You know what I'm saying? If someone wants to say I'm this or I'm that, it sounds better out of their mouth anyway. Otherwise, I'm just bragging and boasting, bro.
That's right.
And I said that in the cause, bro. All that bragging, it's not to brag or boast. All that swag dripping, fan fiction, beating facts any day. I'm gonna keep reality in every rap I ever say, bro. Keep it real, man.
Hey, I love you. Hey,
feel
that's
me?
a quote right there,
That's a
youngins.
quote,
You hear they
boy.
quoted that. That's a quote. Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's awesome. You answered my next question. I was going to ask, how does that teaching affect your everyday life? I think you made that abundantly clear,
Bro,
in your response.
It's the only, and the thing is, I know it for a fact. It's the only reason I have any type of good thing in my life, bro. My wife, my house, my steady job, my music, any good thing, bro, it comes from Him. And when I recognized it, and I was like, oh, duh, I could have had this years ago, And it's like that first album I was telling you about, with the rawest tracks ever. I got a song called Conceited on there. It's the illest song I ever made, and it's so true. But I realized, bro, I can't live that arrogant, conceited life, because although I might, let's say I could get to 10, If there was a scale of 1 to 10, I could get there just off what I got going for me. But I'm trying to get to 12. I'm trying to get to 13, and I know I'm only gonna get those extras with him. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was, like I said, I was raised in a Southern Baptist church and stayed in it. I had a falling out with God and came back around to be a very spiritual person. I think a lot of times our religions can confuse us and get us mixed up.
That's the problem.
Yeah, the religion aspect and getting away from the God aspect. How was it for you? You mentioned your mother was a doctor, and you seem like you come from very successful people. I would assume, family in Scottsdale. Your mom's a doctor. Yeah. How was it to tell your family that I'm Joseph Bills? I'm rapping now. This is what I'm seriously doing.
What a question. So both my parents are doctors, actually.
Okay.
So my dad,
the Huxtables.
There you go.
Kinda, right? In Scottsdale, right? You're living the Cosby.
I really am. My daddy didn't touch no ladies, but
without the bad side, you're living the Huxtables. We'll keep it on the Huxtables. When he was the Huxtables, it was all good. We didn't know. We didn't know. Yeah.
So,
much respect to the Bills family. No, I don't mean to imply
not at all.
anything like
jokes.
Bill Cosby.
It's jokes.
Yeah.
I think I was
two doctors. It seems like extreme pressure.
A little bit.
As a child,
to succeed. But
I was forced to, not forced, but it was kind of intended that I would follow my father's footsteps.
They all used to ask
that. was a pressure.
Yeah.
But it was just to be, in fairness, just to be a contractor. Mm-hmm. It's not like cracking people open, and it's not like being a doctor.
Follow the family business.
Sure.
No, see, my mom is my biggest fan, right? So she's always instilled in me, at least I'm sure all the kids, but in me for sure, like you're a star, Joey. Like you can do it. And by the way, she's her and my youngest sister, the only ones that could call me Joey. If you see me in the streets, don't call me Joey. I won't answer. But so she's always instilled in me. She's always known I've been creative, and I mean I act. Actually, God is good. I just booked this acting gig that's gonna cover my week's worth of check. So amen to that.
Nice.
But the point is, I'm in what do they call college? It's not quite college yet. It's been so many years.
Junior college?
Yeah, community college. There you go.
Okay.
So I'm in community college in my, second, third year.
13th grade.
Life was real easy for Joseph Bills a lot of my life, and that's just because I was like naturally good at things. Like I even talked one of my professors out of taking a final because I walked in after not going to class for a week, and I walked in, happened to be a final. I didn't even know the final was happening. I sit down, I look at the paper for 5 minutes. I walk up to the front, and it's a small classroom, maybe 20 people in there. Everyone can hear you. And I say, look, man, me and you both know that I don't know this information. What do you think I come back next week and take it then? He's like, yeah, it's cool. People looking at me walking out of that classroom like, what the fuck? Excuse my language, I don't cuss like that. But that was their reaction. So life was like that for most of my life until you get to a point where it's like, oh, you got to try now. Oh, now you got to actually put work in. Oh, everything's not gonna just come to you with these dreams and aspirations that you have. So my dad sits me down. And he's like, look, man, all right, I get it. You're not gonna do the school thing. Like you really want to be a rapper. Okay, how are you gonna do it? And I'm like, what you mean? I'm dope. He's like, but how are you gonna make money? You have a business plan? And I'm like, nah. He's like, what do you sell your albums for? I'm like, I do donations. He's like $10. I was like, yeah, but sometimes they don't want to pay. He said, $10. You stick to the price on your product because it's worth it. You put money behind it. Yeah. He's like, okay. 10. So he was like the first person to tell me like, bro, you're gonna do this for real? Then be serious about it, bro.
Wow, that's a big step. Your brother and your dad, I'm giving them almost all the credit.
Especially being a surgeon and everything, like, and I'm making stupid decisions. What I'm saying, getting all kind of trouble I had no business getting in. And they're like, look, if this is what you really want to do, then do it for real, right? Stop messing around, okay? Because you're gonna end up being 30 years old and have nothing to show for it.
Great advice, yeah.
So then I started really taking it serious. Like, okay, that's when I started pressing CDs and like Sharpie days. Like that was back when people were still writing with Sharpies.
No, I remember. Yeah. Pressing
and it's
CDs,
and I get it. Like if that's all you can do, like I'm never gonna shade you for doing the most you can do. But a lot of times, catchers didn't want to put $100 up. You didn't want to put $200 up.
It didn't cost that much.
It don't cost that much, bro. You can get CDs pressed right now, 40-50 cents a disc, bro. If you order enough, like come on. So like I always took the business side serious when it comes to like branding and presentation, because like if you go buy something, I guarantee you're not going to buy something that looks raggedy and janky. If you go to a regular store, you're not going to buy it because it looks like shit. So like why would I expect someone to put their money into me just because I said, look, I made this? So what? It looks like shit. So that's where you really got to take your craft serious, and you have to invest in yourself seriously, and everyone has enough money to do it if you're willing to sacrifice in other areas.
Yeah, I think you made an important point earlier with that. It's just clear that you have to invest in yourself and be serious about your craft. But I think when your point earlier was that no one owes you anything and no one cares.
Nobody cares.
And when you
man.
start from that frame of mind, it's a great ground floor to build on. Because anything you get on top of that is real.
Thank you.
And you were talking earlier, I have this theory that the internet these days is kind of an illusion, and it gives you the feeling that you're
doing more than you are.
It gives you the feeling that you're acting, when actually, to me, acting is one thing, talking is one thing, talking directly, and then everything that happens on the internet is to a lesser degree than those.
Yeah.
But the internet kind of gives you the illusion that you're doing things. But one thing I was going to say, what's important when somebody shares your music or shares your meme or creates a meme of you, that is an action.
Yes.
And that's real.
Yes.
Even though it's carried out online, that is still an action.
Someone had to do that,
right? And they cared enough to act, and that's the kind of fan you want. The people that care enough to act,
exactly,
to interact with you, to buy something, to come see you perform, to buy a Got Bill shirt. There's plenty of. You're one of the better artists when it comes to having merch. You say you wear it all the time. You have it. I saw you got the finger rings. What's up with the finger rings? Let's talk about
finger rings. Those is new, man.
Okay, yeah, you got the 4 finger rings.
Shout out Phoenix Chief. Listen, I'm putting all you artists on right now. I've never been the one to hold back game, and I always love and appreciate the artists that give me game freely. This man can 3D print anything, okay? All you artists, you got your own brands, you got your own designs, you got this, you got that. It's very, very affordable. Phoenix Chief, you can find him all over everyone's page, Support District Radio. Like, he's not a hard man to find, and he can make you anything. So, like...
That's incredible.
He made my keychain for me. He just asked me one day randomly, like, let me get your logo. And I've known him for years. I'm like, yeah, bet. I don't know what you're doing, but here, I believe in you, whatever it is. And we went to one of the protests, and he brought a bag full of keychains with my logo, and I was just blown away. Like,
wow,
I said, what else can you do? He's like, anything. Yeah. I'm getting a boombox made right now. You set your phone in, and it really amplifies the sound, just like a cup or a Pringles can or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it say Max High right in the front, got all the dials at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, just real creative, cool stuff. And he can do that for all of you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're looking for a way to get some merchandise that's creative, it's different, that's unique, he's your man for that. And then,
hey, that's a great resource. If y'all not paying in, he said this gentleman, he gave his name, Phoenix Chief, has a 3D printer, and he's willing to work with you for a reasonable price.
Yes.
So there's all kind of merch ideas that can come to life. You've had some great ideas. To me, the 4 finger ring. I'm an old head. I remember when people actually wore 4 finger rings. Yeah. It was a real thing, kids. So to me, that kind of nostalgia piece, that kind of merch is great, and it's always been the special moments in hip hop. Biggie and Craig Mack released the Big Mac tape, and just all these little parts of hip hop where the promo material is so smart. Yeah. It's great for everybody, especially for the fans. I know they enjoy it. What we're going to talk about, we'll wrap up talking about music, and then we'll get to a little basketball before we get out of here. I can't
believe nobody called in.
Nobody.
Can you believe it? Nobody.
I don't think Mike Terrell got the message. I think he would have called in. Shout out to the Podcast King. He's coming in. He's on the schedule to come in November. Beginning of November, we got the Podcast King coming in. You can update all the time on the social medias. We've got the best of the best. This week coming up, we've got Bruce, and we've got an artist spotlight with Saturday Spotlight series with Most Trill. So, are you familiar with Bruce at all? I am. The Menudo Kingpin.
Actually, the last show before
Mesa Made.
Yep, the last show before the world shut down, we did a show with the Beat Locker. Shout out! I got an interview with them on the 25th.
Shout
Y'all
to the Beat
heard
Locker.
It here first.
That's right.
They are back. They're back. They actually did a show tonight too. But So the last show they had a show, Bruce was on it, and surprisingly enough, that was the first time I had seen him live, and I was blown away. I was like, "Yo, you are ill!" Like,
yeah, he's another guy on my list of people I heard their music and really attracted to it. I haven't even seen him perform yet, but he's coming in. We're gonna see. He's gonna sit down on the Mission.
Very dope artist. Very dope artist.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He seems from following on his internets. just a very interesting character, and he's got a bit of a old school tough guy approach, which I appreciate.
But I believe it.
No, it's authentic.
You feel me? Yeah,
it's authentic.
You can always tell.
It's authentic. We haven't had any problems with authenticity yet. Everybody sat down has been great, and everybody that's on schedule is people I really want to talk to, and people I think that have some great experiences to share. That's what we do here on The Mission. Before we get into this next segment with Joseph Bills, I got a care package from Nirvana Green. Now, everybody out here already knows. You've seen our ads for True Med. You know I enjoy great cannabis medicinal products. Now, Nirvana Green _ on IG, Nirvana Green _ on IG. They make the best bakery good edibles.
Brownies.
I mean, I'm telling you, Miss Nirvana Green, she is a chef like your grandmother. She's not an older lady, but she chefs it up like a grandmother. All the bakery goods are tender, sweet, and delicious, and they contain that beautiful thing we call cannabis.
Wonderful.
So next time you want to get an edible, please talk to my friends over at Nirvana Green, Nirvana Green _ Pardon me while a man makes his living doing this thing.
Nothing wrong with it.
Our friends at Nirvana Green, sponsors of The Mission and helping artists get their mission out every Saturday at 11:30. Tonight we happen to be doing a Sunday special show at 10 p.m. I'm glad it worked out. And you're a hard-working man. It's hard to get your schedule to fit in. And I just got back from Mexico. So luckily they let me in and out,
right?
And I'm here.
You weren't held up at the border.
No, we had no problems. To all of my fans out there that may have been listening to what some people say about Mexico and the inhabitants of it, we had a wonderful time with no problems, and everybody was as nice as they need to be to some dumb Americans. So I appreciate going down there. We were at Rocky Point. It was beautiful. The weather was nice. We enjoyed the beach. They got a ton of seashells. You get your hair braided. This is not a commercial. This is just telling you how great a time my family and I had at Rocky Point. Now, are we getting a full-length project from Joe Bills anytime soon? And before you answer that, is it even necessary in today's climate to release a full-length project or album, if you were, 12 songs as a package? Everything's streaming. It seems to be very single heavy or focused.
Single-driven for sure.
And you have been just beating everybody over the head with singles. If you're going to release a single and video every month, do you even need to put them together in a group anymore? Is that something people do anymore?
It's funny you asked that. As we wrapped up the video shoot today for number 10 that we'll drop in this month, he said to me, he's like, so you gonna put an album out? And I looked at him, Solo Visions, and I was like, for what? Because real talk, at this stage, at least in my career, it's singles, man. Because I mean, I could put all 12 on an album, like you said, but people are so ADD and 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. As a matter of fact, I heard if you have a 50% watch time on your videos, that's good. Half is good, right?
Sure, yeah.
Well, God bless me, I'm right around there. But it's like, so if we're only expecting people to listen to half or watch half of what we put out there, what is the point of me putting an entire body of work when I could just give it to you once a month?
Yeah.
And I'll get you once a month, and you'll watch it once a month. You tell your friends once a month, and I'll give you something new next month. So are you gonna get one? Not in 2020. I don't foresee it.
Right.
I mean, I could just
What would motivate you think, to do that? Because the only problem I have with it is that a lot of my favorite songs over hip hop history have been album cuts.
Yeah.
And album cuts were generally, for those of you that don't remember, album cuts were generally experimental songs. They were attempts to be one thing or the other.
Yeah.
They were a place where you could try something. Maybe when album cuts come to mind, I worry that in a single-driven society,
you're never gonna get that.
We might not get that type of song, or like you personally. I think I might want to hear about how it was growing up in Scottsdale as a black man. I don't think I'm going to get that experience from a single-driven.
It's funny you mentioned that. So yeah, if you are going to get an album from me, then it's going to be something that I built up from scratch. Every album or EP I've released has actually only been a collection of songs, right? It's only ever been like the 15 songs I have done now.
And in fairness, you may be the type of artist, artists always felt like they had to do it, but I always felt like Busta Rhymes was a single-driven artist.
There's different artists out there like that.
We never really got, what you would consider like a movie-esque
project
Right.
from him. Not, like a Dr. Dre does a movie-esque.
Right.
NWA's old records or
Front to back, there's
different
a script
artists
to it almost.
Right.
Yeah.
It follows a day in the life or whatever of these artists, and it felt that way. And some artists give you that, and some artists don't. And I don't think you have to be that guy.
And I agree with you. I don't have to, but let's just say that I've had talks with like my closest people in my camp, and like, if you do get an album from me next year, it's definitely gonna be an actual album. It's gonna have some curation to it. It's gonna be something I thought about from front to back, a concept. It's not just gonna be a collection of songs. So that will be, and you know what? Since you asked, yeah, we'll confirm it. That will be the next album you get from me. Will be something like that. It will be a movie. But up until then, we're just gonna drop these however many songs I'm sitting on. We're gonna give you a video every time,
right?
And just try to build that buzz, that fan base.
Well, I think your output is incredible, especially because of the level that it stays on. And you're always sending me a new record, like put this on for me, and I try my best to keep up. I like the one from last week, but I play the one from this week.
Yeah.
And your newest one, well, before we get into that, you had to watch What's Poppin' Remix, which that beat, shout out to Jack Harlow, was popular.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people remix that track, as it happens in hip hop. It's dance hall culture. We all rock over the same version.
Yep.
But yours outshined a lot, I think.
I appreciate you saying that, and you're not the first person to say that on an interview either. So I feel like that might be true.
And that was you, Davey Fresh, and Fonzie Rebel, right?
And it's funny too, because like when the actual remix dropped, the very day it dropped, it's Dub and Davi were talking about online, and I was at work and I was seeing the comments, and I listened to it, and I was like, yo, this is so crazy. So I put them in a group chat, and I was like, yo, we got to do one of these. We'll call it the AZ mix. Like when I get an idea in my head, I'm actually pretty, without tooting the horn, I'm pretty good at creating an idea and then just seeing it through.
Follow through.
Yes.
It's important. It's crucial.
So I was like, let's do this. And Dub, he hardest working man I know. And he's like, look, I don't have time to write no verse, but I'll shoot the video for y'all. And I'm like, run it. So then we tap Fonz. I'm like, yo, we recorded at your crib. I was like, I'll pay for the video if you record it for us and you jump on the third verse. And he was with it. So we did it that week. We shot it that week and we put it out the next week.
Right. Got it out fast. That's key. When you're doing that kind of thing, you got to get it out quick.
Man. Otherwise, it's like, who cares anymore? But man, I was really happy with all of our verses on there. I was happy with the video. The models that came through last minute, like everyone that comes through that you see in the video, bro, is like a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like they're really there to like help me out because they believe in what I got going on, and so I always appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I try to hire a model or whatever, I'm like, look, what do you want to eat? What do you want to drink? Like it's on me. Like what can we do for you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, you gotta look out for people that are looking out for you. Sure. You know, and if you're not doing that, you guys should start because appreciation goes a long way. Right. And so yeah, that was Papa remix, bro. I feel like that was probably the best remix I heard. I mean, without Wayne on it.
And I'll tell you, I've said this a million times. I grow tired of a mainstream hip hop like a lot of older guys. But my love of hip hop has really been reinvigorated by the Phoenix scene.
Nice.
When on my Wednesday show, I play an hour of AZ music. And, I really listen to those shows after. I enjoy listening to AZ music, and a lot of it really gets me excited about hip-hop
There's so much good stuff out here,
Yeah,
and I feel like
it's so diverse from day one. If people would
focus on getting it out to a fan base before just trying to stunt on each other,
right?
I feel like we're all going to go so much farther.
For Phoenix to really love someone, do you think that the artist has to get big somewhere else and then come back?
They say
Phoenix?
that, but
that's the way it used to be in Richmond.
I think they say that just because of experience of what has happened, right? Futuristic moves away, comes back, he's huge.
That's his plot.
You know what
story.
I'm saying? Like,
okay.
Right. But I'm gonna say this because I was there, you know what I'm saying, watching him come up. You know what I'm saying? Learn a lot of game from that man.
Right.
When he was out here doing all these shows and doing this and doing that, people was not showing him the same kind of love they showing him now.
Right.
I'm sure we talking about fake love. Like if I get a little bit, I'm sure he get a lot of it. Right. People just on the teat because he done what we all aspire to do. You know what I'm saying? Made whatever you made. He made companies, put people in position. That's all we all trying to do with this music thing. And so it's like, it's funny to see how many people show and it might be genuine love now. I'm not saying it's fake love forever.
Right.
But at the same time, when we was out here grinding like we grinding out there, Where was you then? But as soon as we go out there and we make it, now it's okay for you to show the love.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think that's the issue. I don't think it's that we need to leave. I think while we're home, we need to get these flowers for real. Honestly, like you don't have to wait for someone to move away before you give them the recognition that they deserve. That's where I think it is.
And if you touch base, I'll say this: if you touch base with artists before they leave, then it's a genuine connection. They're gonna remember you as a genuine fan, and you have access to these people now because they haven't got to that level. So enjoy the access with these artists that you have.
While you can, bro. Get as many features as you can.
Give the love, because I will say I love my hometown. But Richmond is a small town, and it's such a big area here. There's such a diverse age range, style range. I tell everybody I've met more Americans in the 3 years living in Phoenix than I did my whole life on the East Coast, because people on the East Coast just move up and down. Florida people move up, New York people move down. People really don't move to the Midwest or the West. Right. And the Midwest people really don't move east. They move. So I've met,
everyone is from somewhere else here.
I've met people from Detroit and Wisconsin and Northern Cali, Southern Cali.
Detroit's heavy out here, actually.
Detroit's heavy. Yeah. People got away from the cold weather. So I've met more Americans here. So I just think this is a great market. Like you said, if we can somehow wake up the fans to realize what they're kind of taking for granted, or maybe they're not even aware
might not even know
of everybody that's
what
really doing it.
That's what it is. But it's our job to make them aware.
That's why I'm here.
So a lot of artists be back here complaining like they not hearing me. Well, where are you promoting to? Where are you marketing to? Are you marketing to the same 2 circles? Because that's why you're only heard in those 2 circles.
Right.
You got to branch out first. You know what I'm saying? You got to bring it to them. They're not looking for underground Arizona rappers.
Like you said, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. You got to make them care. Right. And then they'll see like, oh, snap.
And be very consistent. And it's hard in the middle of your consistency. It's easy, I should say, in the middle of your consistency to think it's not working.
Yeah.
But that's when, like you did, you have to turn up, max out, and go harder.
You have to.
Because then, eventually you see the snowball effect and things start to turn, And like I said, I'm blessed because the response of the artists I have relationships with and the format of the show and the look of the videos and everything has got people very enthusiastic about coming on the show.
Yeah.
So that's and so I'm blessed in that, because this show doesn't happen with just me talking. It is the back and forth with the artist that I think is the importance of the show.
I think it's a really important show, bro. It's definitely a different format than any other interview I've been on, and
I appreciate you saying that.
I already shouted it out on the internet, so it's real.
It's real. There's
Once it's online, it's real.
There's an action online that's real.
But I mean that. I
appreciate you saying
it's a very dope platform that you're providing for us, man. And I hope nobody takes it for granted.
Being who I am, I think I'm just, people would agree, my wife and family and everybody, I've always been different, as you say. I've always been different. So I'm a different individual. I don't feel any competition with any of the other shows. Usually when artists are making a run, a press run if it were, they want to do as many shows. And I know my interview is going to be different than Unfiltered as Fuck or Well Connected AZ or the 411 show, or when John Blaze has his one-on-ones. I'm new here. I come from the East Coast, and I'm a fan of the Phoenix music. And I'm in a position where I'm not an artist. I'm not in competition with anybody. I can say I'm a fan of Joseph Bills, and it's nothing. I'm an old man. I can be humble and say I'm a fan of Joseph Bills, and so I came to give those flowers and give that love from a different perspective. And I don't, everybody's doing their own shows. We've got a lot of new shows here at the studios. There's a bunch of tits and ass running around regularly. Unfortunately for Joe Bills, it's kind of dead around here tonight.
Yeah, feel me? But that's okay. That's okay. But we'll come in and we'll perv out later. I'm just playing.
With this whole LeBron thing, I saw you talking about that. We tried to. I saw you tried to. You tried to. You tried to
the hook out there.
You tried to throw the hook out to get some action going.
Look, if you're still tuned in, I will speak to this. If you're still tuned in with us, 11:49 p.m.
Feel free to call in.
Here's the deal. Okay. Yeah. If you're still listening, you got 10 seconds to call in.
Please, for me, I'm just so you know, I haven't followed sports actively in a long time. I don't even watch ESPN for the recap anymore. I haven't watched sports since the mid '90s. So I'm one of those guys that probably is more impressed with Jordan. But anyway,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Check this out.
No, give me the truth. But along with giving me the truth, you have to defend him walking off the floor before the game was over.
Of course, I'll speak to all of it.
Because
we'll go with the walk-off first.
All I've been told is you can't judge a man's frustration or something of that nature.
We'll go with the walk-off first.
To me, that's called sportsmanship, and you can judge a man's frustration.
Poor sportsmanship.
Okay, as long as you admit that.
Bottom line, the buzzer didn't ring. What are you doing, man? Stay on the floor with your team, okay?
Yeah.
Now,
take the L with everybody.
Yeah, take the L
Don't
with
walk
everybody.
off stage.
Thank you.
Right.
Now, as far as me saying LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, I have 10 facts to back it up.
Give it to me.
Complete troll.
I like the argument.
Complete troll. I didn't even mean it. It's not even. I don't even really feel like that. I wanted people to call in so that I can say, I got you. Now you tune in.
Okay.
Now I did have a couple comments on my feed, and one of the hosts from the Certified Savage show, she messaged. She's like, I can't stand you, and I sent her a message. I said, look, because I respect you as a friend, I'm gonna let you know this was not real. I didn't mean it. I tried to troll and I tried my hand at it. It did not work. Okay.
Nobody bit.
We might try it again later. We probably won't. I'll just stick to what works for me. But yeah, I personally though, since we're talking about it,
are you a real sports fan?
I like highlights. I like players. Right. So Lakers are my team because of Kobe. Okay. But RIP. Here's what I will say about LeBron, because me and my wife were actually arguing about this the other night, and I was like, he's great.
That's a good relationship. You and your wife arguing about LeBron.
I mean, you gotta argue. You know what I'm saying? If you're not arguing, why are you with the person? You don't care what they say that much.
I choose to call it passionate debate, but my wife.
I'm gonna get mad points for that later.
Yeah, passionate debate.
When I bring that up, I'm gonna get super points. Thank you. That's some husband to husband game right there. But so I'm like, yo, he's great. Like, you can't discredit. He got this, all his stats have been shown. And she told me, she's like, okay, look, I can't call him great because he don't finish. And we've over the years of watching his career, I've always been the one to be like, yo, he's ice cold when it's clutch, and I know that about him, and that's okay. He's still great to me. And then I was watching this video yesterday. It's like 30 minutes long, so of course I just skipped to the end. But it was a person saying what I said on my troll post about, I'll show you who's better at the end of this video.
Sure.
And he said, look, man, it comes down to, can you close? I mean, it's important. And it started showing all the highlights of the times he couldn't close. We're talking layups. We're talking with 1 second on the clock and he's at the rim. He could have dunked it and missing the dunk. And I'm like, damn, yo, I do remember though, out of those 6 lost championships that he had, he did choke a lot. So then I remember, like, okay, Jordan didn't make every finishing shot either. You know, he passed the ball a lot of times.
Sure.
But he had that killer instinct that Kobe had, that Jordan had. LeBron don't really have that killer instinct. And I think maybe, in his defense, he found it this year because he just got tired of people shitting on him. I think, honestly, it just started tonight is what I think.
Right.
But, and maybe he'll win 4 more because now he has the killer instinct.
Right.
But in my personal opinion, he's never been a closer. And that's cool, bro. He's still great, though. I don't think you could take the greatness away from him for his accomplishments, even if he's not a cutthroat closer.
I think he's great. I think the reason why old guys, you know, we remember the Jordan that got cut from his high school team or something.
Yeah.
You know, we remember the Jordan that everybody said he can't shoot a jump shot, and then he worked for 2 years very hard in the offseason, and he came back with a superior jump shot. Like, he was the guy that won not only the offensive stuff but the defensive prizes.
Both ends of the floor, man.
You know, and we just remember him, like you said, a lot of games he passed for the last shot. That's because he was being definitely double, if not triple teamed.
Feel me?
And you know, but I think it's a classic. I love the argument because it's a classic old man, young man, generational argument. And nowadays it's interesting because the internet has some young people taking the old man perspective. You know, everybody wants to be that guy that's not what you think he
against
is.
The grain.
Yeah, I'm not a ha-ha. You know,
tricked you. I'm different.
Yeah. I'm the young guy that thinks Jordan is better. You know, everybody wants to be that guy. So everybody takes the different opinions. But I just think it's you know, especially with stuff like technology. As a younger man, as an older man, we look at the younger people and see the advantages of technology. And you have Google and YouTube to explain to you everything they could do. And we didn't have that.
Right.
So no matter what the young people accomplish, it's probably not going to be enough because as an older person, we're going to say, well, shit, if we would have had YouTube and Google, we would have done that or more too.
Exactly.
And the young people, and inversely, because I try to look at it from both sides. The young people turn around and look at the old people and, you know, how they complain or how they talk about how they had to do it and all the time, and they'll never have respect for that because they have no perspective point.
That's all it is.
They have to, you know, of like actually drawing a flyer instead of using the computer, or you know,
or having to go to QT and sell CDs. Bro, I got a track on my last
performing
EP,
on the
bro.
street or things that
something like that
you
right?
would do. Yeah, sell CD, humbling yourself
exactly.
to sell CDs.
It's called Let Them Know, bro. And I, not to go back to the music or anything, but
ahead.
the last verse of that song, bro, I said we was outside. I was like, I had 2 CDs left, bro. We had to sell these, so I said, if I don't sell these last 2 CDs, I don't eat. Like, it sounds like some real hip hop, some real dope. That's a real life story, bro. I'm me and my homeboy, right? He was doing some artwork for me, so I was putting them up. I'm talking $0. They used all the change out of the car, all the change in the couch, nothing left. Don't get paid for another day and a half. And I'm like, bro, we are starving. I'm digging in my room for something I can sell. Oh, what do I find? 2 CDs. I said, fam, if I can go sell these for $10 a pop, we can go to the Rancho Market right down the street. We can get burritos, we can get some drinks, we can get everything. Yeah. I went to the Walgreens, bro. Like, that last verse is probably the realest verse, the most true to my heart verse I've ever rapped, because I remember being starving and going out and selling 2 CDs. I said, I'm telling the security guard, like, you gotta buy. He's like, yo, bro, chill. Boom. He gave me one. 5 minutes later, customer copped, and we bounced straight to the Rancho, and we got burritos. Even that's enough for some Fritos and a couple Pellegrinos. We felt like kings, and that night, that's what made me a G. I mean that shit, bro. Like, when you really have to go out and hustle to eat, like, oh yeah, I could have called my doctor, mom, my doctor, dad. What, at midnight? Right. On Sunny Slope? Nah. Nah. Ain't nobody coming to give you no food right now. Nah. So that was like, I don't even know why that story came up, but story time with Joseph Bills goes left and right sometimes.
No, that's a good story.
But anyway,
that's a good story, and that shows where some of your drive comes from.
Yeah, man, yeah.
And if you're always, no matter how you know, we all started, we all have some type of family, we all have some type of fallback, but
sometimes you got to get it.
But you were out there with a different frame of mind, and that frame of mind forges your perspective.
I have to get it myself, man.
What we got to get out of here soon. I don't want to hold you all night. What does Joseph Bill, and we're gonna play a couple of your songs on the way out, some of the newer music for the people to listen to. What does Joseph Bills ultimately want? If you could have it all, if you could now mind you, you can't just snap your fingers and make racism go away. You got to give me some kind of plan.
Facts.
But what would you do? You know, whatever you want to happen, whether it be personal or in the big scheme of things, what would Joseph Bill snap his fingers and make these things happen? What would he do?
If
tomorrow?
I could Thanos my fingers together.
You could Thanos anything in the world.
All right, personal, it would be to achieve a level of financial stability grown strictly from my passion and my art, to not only live extravagant lifestyle, but also put people in position that have bled, sweat, and shed tears for me on my journey in position to win. And that's a staple. Worldwide, it would be really dope if people would just look to their left and their right and realize that, and it sounds super cliche, but we really all bleed the same blood. And it's cool to give 5 seconds of your busy life that I know we all lead to this person over here, because you never know what kind of impact you can make with a couple of words, let alone a conversation, let alone $5 and a trip down the street, or like, I don't know how many times my life has been changed by compassion, and I also have no idea how many lives I've changed by compassion. But if we could all just show each other a little bit of compassion, everything would change. Literally everything, from racism to homelessness to to whatever aspect in society you look at. If you insert compassion, we win. We win as a race, as a human race. We win.
Hey, well, I thank you again for coming. It's been a great show. The time has flown by. I feel like I could talk to you for another 2 hours, bro.
Breezed by.
It's just
already midnight. I had no idea.
It's already midnight. I'm gonna chop this footage up. You know, like you said, we got to chop it up into small chunks to feed to the babies, to get them the full
I'm sure
steak
there's a lot
meal.
of nuggets in this one.
A lot of nuggets in this one. Thank you so much. We're gonna get into your music as I walk you out, and we get out of here. Maybe take a couple flicks or something.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll get those drops in. Thank you again, Joseph Bills.
I appreciate
Joseph
you, brother.
Bills. Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
Max
in.
out, max out, max out.
Yeah. Let's get some music. This is Want It All. Then we get into a couple new cuts as we get out of here.
Yes, sir. Man, we getting overlit on this one. Max out, max out, max out, max out, max out. De la Prince, Joseph Bill.
La Prime on the track, so you know that it's turned. Nah, I maxed out to the maximum. Half of them only relaxing. I treat them like laxatives. They booty like gluteus maximus. Shout out to freshmen on bars like a graduate. Down for the cause like I'm Kaepernick. Flows in the shows get me dough, and it's tax exempt. Man, what's happening in? I'm Kobe, I'm Braun, I'm Jordan and Magic Mix. I want rings like Phil Jack and them. Listen clear, give it here before I take it. My career something like an engineer. I'm finna make it, living on the edge. Call me blanket. My records are a record and I break them all. Go, never breaking full blow. But they in the city, only where I'm getting faded. I want it all, not because I deserve it. No one can say I ain't earned it. I want it all, living my purpose on purpose. Boy, we on hot like a furnace. I want it all, to the surface. Murder game, putting that work in. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all, not because I deserve it. No one can say I ain't earned it. I want it all. What's poppin'? New phone, who this? Stop calling, unless you talk profit. You see, getting money, my job, and I'm always clocked in. Bills on everybody watch list. I make plays, I'm in everybody's top 10. I'm the type Stuart Scott would've rocked with. Look, I'm Tony Hawk when I drop in. I'm on the grind all of the time. My hustle is heavy, they hustle is light. Songs are on fire, just like outside. I'm from AZ, it's 100 at night. That's so I keep it with all of my rhymes, and I'm better than Mike. When you hear a song, like crushing an 8-ball and doing all of the lines. So many stars on this beat, it's like all of the lights. They looking at me like they solving a crime. I'm looking for green, it's all in my eyes. No envy in me, we all on the rise. We all about to shine, tap in on this prime. Max out is the vibe, got pills is the tribe. Get with it or kiss it goodbye. Her ways high me, hit Dobby, hit Dub, hit Fonz, you got me? Well, show the glow why the zone got heat. What better way than to show 'em what's popping? Her ways high me, hit Dobby, hit Dub, hit Fonz, you got me? Well, show the glow why the zone got heat. What better way than to show 'em what's popping? What's cracking? Big bag wolf done landed, yeah. I can't stand it, these niggas ain't got no standards. These bitches be broke, no manners. They only fly on camera. Another nigga said that he fight, cool, cause I'm blowing out candles. Ooh, ayy, I'm in the booth writing bangers. My bitch is bad as the panga, ayy, yeah. Swimming in pussy is toxic, come right as dick till I'm nauseous, ayy, yeah. So they talk about you when you're not around. Pop on they block and they don't make a sound. But why would I worry, cause I keep a 30 round drum on me. And each one I'm giving out halos. Plug only counting in pesos. Bad bitches do what I say, so W a big, but my thumb in the AO. Ayy, ooh, since everybody gon' stay in their lane, it's fuck it, I'm taking up 2 of them. Big body nigga, you know how I move. Third ways high me, hit Dobby, hit Dub, hit Fonz, you got me? Well, show the glow why the zone got heat. What better way than to show 'em what's popping? Her ways high me, hit Dobby, hit Dub, hit Fonz, you got me? Well, show the glow why the zone got heat. What better way than to show 'em what's popping?
Hey, what's poppin'? Flow like water, ho. No stopping, we just touch and go. Afro popping like a DZ, so the B where his knees be at. Scrunch face with a tree be at. All about bread, no celiac. I'm popping, that's a fact. She dropped ass where my dick be at. First pick, never pick me last. 6 speed, and the shit be fast. I-10 used to be my bitch. Runway, where I did my flip. I'm trying to tell you, I'm what's poppin', bitch. Matrix hit a glitch. Points with no assist. I just copped a whip from whipping mixes in the fix. Morphine with the drip, I ate some caps and took a trip. Sipping 1800, track is done, ain't that a bitch?
All right, everybody. Phoenix AZ, it's been another episode of The Mission. I'd like to say thanks to Joseph Bills for coming in. I'd like to say thanks to Nirvana Green for the care package. It's been another great show. As you know, the clips and replay will follow up. It's always on www.respecttheunderground.com.
Respect the Underground.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Radio.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We out.